What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K of MM2K Gaming, Cloud Dosage, Hard Knock Digital Culture, back again with another episode of The Spiel. This is normally where we talk about the latest and greatest in video gaming news in short video form, but I wanted to do something special today. We're going to be talking in a few moments, if you're watching this as part of the mic check episode. In a few moments, we're going to be talking about the greater subject matter of the Xbox brand and how it's now being debated within the Xbox community. But to kind of highlight how it's transitioned and how we got to this point, I wanted to also give you a sneak peek of a big time interview that I did with my good friend Tim Dog. Tim Dog has been a long friend of mine for a very long time while I've been doing content creation here on YouTube and so forth. He was the third episode in a great line of series of interviews that we've already done. I thought that him coming in as the third episode was the perfect place because we kind of talked to the PlayStation side of the community in regards to what's going on between PlayStation and Xbox's competition. Now we're going to start converting over to like the Xbox side, but I think Tim Dog was a great midway point because for those of you that have been living under a rock, Tim Dog, undoubtedly the biggest name in Xbox fandom, earlier this year, stepped away from the platform. He said, look, they're doing some things, particularly when it comes to more of a multi-plat behavior. That is the antithesis of them trying to compete, give you better product, bring us back to the Xbox 360 glory days as far as the quality that's being put out there. I had no idea this is what they were doing. And now that I realize that this is what's happening, I have to step away from the brand. And he explained his part. He disparaged nobody that didn't feel the same way he did. But he said, this is what I got to do. And in doing so, he was attacked and lauded, whatever, everything you can think of. He was called everything but the child of God. But now we're seeing a turn of events with some of these more recent activities with Xbox, like most notably the rumor that Forza Horizon 5 of all games could be coming to PlayStation and what that means for the brand or how that might damage the brand even further. Now we're seeing some of the same people that when Tim Dog originally made his step back that, attacked him. Now you're starting to see they sympathize with his move and they also look like they're about to do the same thing. So during our fantastic interview with Tim Dog, I actually wanted him to react to this and give his thoughts on such a transition. So we're going to play that now, then we're going to talk on the back end about the overall theme about how the Xbox brand is transitioning and what that means for the Xbox console gamer. So in order to do that, let me do this. Let's pause our original background music and let's get ready to do this right here. Here we go.
You know you're good attack.
I just don't know when it's going to end. All right, so here it goes. Iron Lords podcast, King David, Kid Smooth, talking about Xbox fandom right now. Here we go.
I told you put your chest out, put your chin up, and you stand up there. You hold the line. That's what I told you to do. And you did it for a little bit, but your legs got knocky again. And I'm just saying. So don't act like, everything was all together then. No, because every last one of you dudes said that ABK deal would not go through. Fact. I'm the only dude that told you, man, shut up and hold it down. That's a fact. And it's gonna go down. And it went down, and these dudes right now were burning. Now they want the games now.
Now we wish it didn't go down because ever since it did go down, it brought everything down. I think people like me, Tim Dog, the probably toxic fanboyism to a toxic place to the point where we're too much of a fanboy of like we want to win. We want Xbox to win. We want Xbox to have the better games. We want Xbox to sell the most. We want Xbox to have high Metacritic scores. What Xbox is doing now is the polar opposite of what we want them. We want them to win. What they're doing is like, It's like it's confusing. Actually, it's like a chemical imbalance of what's actually going on. It's like, this is not the console warrior way. So it's like
the console warrior way. Okay, so
I love
So, all right, like, so you can't have that same mindset. Don't fall into the positions that they can't do. They can't do what Microsoft do. They're $1 billion company. You ever went inside the club and can't go up to the 3rd floor because your money don't reach up there? That's the same thing.
Respectfully, we've been starving for years.
Oh God!
Tim,
You know
what do you think about that?
That's
that
great.
clip?
Great. It's right, man. He nailed it, man. We wanted them to win.
Yeah.
I wanted them to win. I wanted them to have the high Metacritics. Those are all things because I'm competitive. He nailed it on that. And the last statement he just is completely true that we've been starving.
Yeah.
But yes, that was part of it. And yes, that was part of my ignorance. I never gave PlayStation a shot. Like when I bought the PlayStation, I just, that's 100%, Of course I wanted Xbox to do good. And of course, when that didn't happen, it would suck. But, and I always stood by him. But when they were just like giving up, it was it. But yeah, he's right. Looking back, I always wanted that day to be like, hey, Moss, look, man, we're number one.
You
Rock,
fucked up,
what's
Moss.
up, man? We won the MPD. What are you talking now? Bro, it never came.
And you know what, Tim,
some things in life,
I would have been happy if that would have happened. I would have been more than glad to say, oh, man, I was so fucking wrong. They're back, buddy. Tim, I bend the knee, Tim, take me back. I would have been more than happy to do that. But like you were saying, it never came.
You kind of knew. And
yeah.
Some people's realizations were earlier than others. You were one of them. Because I remember I used to always say, come on back.
Yeah,
Chris is another one. Chris, we would always fight. And I'd be like, Steele, come on back. We're going to have a contract. I'm going to have a contract. But, Chris had his experience where he was done with Xbox. Zaire had his. Yeah. You had yours, which we always joke about. Yeah. But, like, yeah, I mean, I have to admit, like, I did want Xbox to be out there, and they just, the starving part is true, man. They, as King is saying, well, they could go up to the 3rd floor, and the Sony's money ain't good no more up there. He's right, but it's also the fact that, bro, like for years, 2022, they got fucking nothing. 2021, that was their only little bit of a spurt that I think that they had. Remember when they had Halo and Forza 5? I think that they had that video and about how the creation of Xbox and how it all started.
Yeah.
They were in a decent spot then, but they never. It's like I told Rand. I said we never had our day, and I really wanted that day to happen. I wanted to say, ha, you guys were wrong, and it is what it is. Like when they just totally waved the white flag, it's like, no, I can't stand by that. Like, I don't think it's good. And again, it comes down to the living room too, and personal, things as a gamer. I mean, people say, Tim, you don't game this and that. I've been gaming since day one, since the start of gaming. I remember I walked half a mile. My fat ass, well, I wasn't fat then, but like I used to walk every single day, and I used to spend $10 in quarters, and I used to play video games, arcade, standing up every day, and loved it. I played on Atari. I owned a 3DO. I had every system. I had the Jaguar. I had you name it. I had it. Been there for all the big games. But right now I'm a console gamer. I don't want to deal with PC. And I wanted Xbox with my 1,200 game digital library that I own to have a console and to be what they want. And I think their future is completely third party, and they're going to be identity.
So there you have it. It's like that's the crux of it is the identity is now in limbo when it comes to Xbox. Like, what is next for them? You can hear the reason why I wanted to give you guys that snippet in Cold Blood, and I will be talking about this too during the podcast, is that because one of the things that Cold Blood said to me, and I think it's more than legit that Cold Blood asked this to many people asked it, and I think Tim would have answered it either way. But it's like, don't you feel responsible, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people have been coming to Tim and asking him that. And Tim has been addressing it, and he was like, yeah, I do feel responsible. But, you know, if it's any solace, I was coming from a place of really, I thought that they were going to do right by the customer in the long end. There may have been situations to where I may have brushed some things off or whatever, because everybody has stumbles, you know, and we all do it for our favorite thing. We may brush some things off here and there, but it was in the betterment of the community because we really felt like with the continued support, they would actually get back to the glory days and continue pumping out quality for the consumer. And when I finally realized that that was not going to be their approach via them totally changing the brand and just going third party and just trying to whip anything anywhere, he said, I had to step back. So then that's the question that looms. You know what I mean? Like, what is the brand? Cold Blood had said, you know, I originally was going to pepper him with questions about his accountability, but he's been accountable. And I can hear in his voice his pain. Like, that was one pivotal part of the interview where you could hear his pain. Like, he really wanted Xbox to dig deep, and they were promising they were going to dig deep to do more. Now, he explains in other parts of the interview why he think this happened, and you really got to see the full interview to get the full impact and hear the reasonings that they're here. But again, the desire for them to do better was there. Honestly, Kid Smooth was one of the people that when Tim Dog flipped, he did not have the nicest things to say. And to see that type of sympathy, not just from Kid Smooth, but from others across the board in the community. When I say across the board, I don't mean everybody. I mean like across the board in different sectors of the community. Do that. It makes you wonder. The Xbox fandom, outside of those that just appreciate Game Pass and maybe like some of the titles, like this whole competitive spirit from a platform standpoint, I'm gonna make you wonder, what's the point? What's the point anymore? I mean, look, you guys know me. I was a fan of Ubisoft and I was a fan of Bethesda. You can be a fan of a publisher. You can. But it's kind of like different. You can be a fan of a publisher without hating on other ones. You could just say, I feel like that this publisher best represents what I look for in gaming. But when I think when it comes to platforms, it's a little bit different. But yeah, excellent stuff. We're going to be talking about that shortly. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sit tight if you're watching this as part of Mic Check. If you're not watching this as part of Mic Check and you're watching this as a VOD, check out the card to the left. It will take you to that Mic Check episode where me and Cold Blood embellish on this even more. And if you want to see the full Tim Dog interview, again, it's part of our member series called Lobby Talk. Check the card to the right. It will take you there. With that said, I appreciate all y'all. Till next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace. What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K of MM2K Gaming, Cloud Dosage, Hard Knock Digital Culture, back again with another episode. What is up, people? What is up, people? What is up, people? We are here with one of the bigger interviews. Not all of them were great, but again, we're switching gears because we've heard from the quote unquote PlayStation side, or people that sympathize more with PlayStation gaming at the moment, with my brother Tim. He gave us some Xbox insights, like Dylan, you know, as far as his interaction with Phil and whomever. This one is important because while things are moving in orbit, and while things are just transforming and going crazy, we have an Xbox gamer, tried and true here, our good friend, middle-aged gamer, also known as MAGG. MAGG, how are you doing today, my good friend? Welcome to MM2K Gaming, man. How you feeling today?
Well, I got to tell you, man, you know what? It's been a long time coming. I've been listening to the show for a long time, always in the background, always kind of skulking around, doing whatever, cleaning the house, making dinner, always listening to you. Even in the office, sometimes at work, I kind of sneak it in there. And I'm always there. And you know what? Funny enough, fast forward to today, here we are actually talking to each other live. So it's great to be here. We got some things to talk about. And then, of course, some questions that are going to come up. I will answer every single one of them. And so, anyways, I'm happy to be here. Let's get into this, man. Let's talk.
Awesome. Shout out to the chat. Do us a huge favor, man. I'm not going to waste Mag's time. Y'all know how I am. Normally, I'd be drop kicking you guys digitally to give us our 10 fucking likes, but not going to do that. We're going to get right into it. But do us at least a huge favor. Hit that like button and share this out too. Let people know that we're live, because we are going to get the perspective of an Xbox gamer in the state of affairs with Xbox and on all things gaming. And then I see we got Cold Blood in the house. Cold Blood is going to throw up in his mouth because we're going to be talking about his least favorite platform, the 360. You know what I mean? We're going to be doing some bro loving on the 360, and he can't stand it. But who gives a damn? At this
what's
moment,
up,
right?
man?
Hey, what's up, Cold Blood? How you doing, man? You're an absolute riot, man. You always make me laugh every time you come on. And I always look forward to it. I was saying it behind the scenes, and I was just like, there's always something funny when there's like 3 seconds of silence, and then all of a sudden you come on and you just say something so outlandish. I always like spit whatever's in my mouth, and I'm like, this guy every single time makes me laugh. I love it, man. Anyways, let's do it, man. I'm excited to be here. Let's talk.
Awesome stuff. So yeah, interview series, lobby talk. We're doing you guys a special treat. Don't know for how long, for at least 24 hours. This is going to be public. It may stay public. All depends on how I'm feeling, right? You know, but we're airing this one live publicly. So again, let everybody know. All right, Mag. Good.
Yeah.
Let's just rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Let's address the 100-pound, 500-pound gorilla in the room. Indiana Jones. It was reported that Indiana Jones will be coming to Xbox December 9th, Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series X and S and PC, right? But then there was this surprise announcement about it coming to PlayStation. I mean, I'm curious on what your overall feelings are on that announcement. Do you think it was like a big FU to the community like many people feel, or what is your general take on how that information was rolled out?
Well, it was no surprise to me, as I had already said this back in January. I never went back and apologized to anybody. I never walked back what I said. I never did it. I even said it right on when I was on XNC. I'm like, I'm not apologizing for a goddamn thing. I'm like, I said what I was told are from people who are actually working there on the inside, we're talking near the damn top. And I said, I said, whatever's happening in there is going to happen. It's going to be a matter of time. And of course I was attacked. I had threats sent against me. I had people unfollow me, stop listening to me, whatever. And still to this day, people are still talking shit about me. And I'm like, hey, go ahead. And then when these things happen, I'm the first one to crop up my stupid head and go, hey guys, remember what I said? Pepperidge Farms remembers. And I'd be like, you know what I mean? So like, we remember exactly what happened. And this was no shock to me. And there's going to be a lot more coming. And I actually will divulge some of that here on the show today. But one of the people that I was talking to, who is, well, I won't say anything beyond that, but I will say this. The one thing that he said to me back in December, this was during the Game Awards show. He told me about the 4 games that were coming to PlayStation first. This is back in December. So remember whenever the game show was, and you know what the thing was? He was at the game show, sitting there, texting me while the show's going on and telling me about stuff that's being discussed or whatever else. And he was right, and he told me all about it. And by the way, he told me everything about the show. He also said, by the way, they're going to show Blade tonight. He goes, because I worked on the trailer.
Mm.
And then lo and behold, and I talked about it some with other people. I'm like, yo, guys, keep your eyes out. They might show Blade tonight. And they're like, nah. And 40 minutes later, Blade was on the screen, and everybody lost their minds, right? And the other thing is, he did tell me this. He said Blade is coming to Xbox, PS5, and Switch 2. The other, and then of course he told me about some of the other ones. He told me about the 4 games coming. He was absolutely right there. And then of course the other ones he said Indiana Jones. And I went. And it's funny, when this came out, the first person I messaged was Colt. I go, hey Colt, remember when I told you back? He goes, yeah, you're right. He goes, your dude is 100% spot on. He said that Indiana Jones was a 90-day, around. This is what he said, around 90-day exclusivity window. And now we're hearing the possibility that it's a 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
And this was 8 months ago, 8.5 months ago. So anyways, the reason why I'm bringing up that, I'm not doing that to be like, hey, look at me, I'm the best, I got everything right because some dude told me. No, I'm only mentioning this because you asked the question, you know, how did I feel about it? I didn't feel anything about it because I knew it was coming. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was no shock to anybody. And I think it's the only move that Microsoft has left. And, the other thing is, too, is that because Microsoft, they really, outside of offering a service, they're going to be a third-party publisher. And that's the only way that they're going to succeed. Because Xbox, in my opinion, is going to be an option for some people. I would say about 25 million people going into the next generation. And then beyond that, it's going to dwindle even further. And I think that you're only going to have about 12 to 15 million on Xbox. And then everybody else is going to be PC, PlayStation, or Nintendo. And that's all there is to it. The reason why, again, is... Sorry, I was going to explain something. Sorry. The other reason why is that if you look at it, and this is something I've talked about even on XNC, which much to the chagrin of like half the audience, but whatever. I told them, I said, you guys realize that the all-encompassing box moving forward is PlayStation, right? And then there was dead silence, right? And then I'm like, well, think about it. I'm not being a like a fanboy or a salty asshole or this and that, whatever. Just listen, like, think about it for a second. You're gonna get all the this is above PC, by the way. Above PC. You're gonna get all PlayStation day one. You're gonna get all of the Xbox at some point. Most of them actually are going to be day one, by the way. Like some of the, like there's going to be a certain fighting game that's going to be coming out for PS5 and for the Xbox Series and Switch 2 consoles. They have not announced that yet. I'll just call it a certain fighting game. Wow. It is a sequel, and it's going to be multi-platform day one. Doom, multi-platform day one. You got Indy Jones, 3 months. There's going to be other ones coming. They're going to be day one. Elder Scrolls is going to be day one. There is even word now that E-Day is going to be day one. Right? And so we've talked about that, and it makes absolutely perfect sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me. You put, like, for example, why start at Gear 6 if you're going to go multi-platform? You're going to have PlayStation people going to, what the fuck happened in the first 5?
Yeah.
Start with E-Day, and then you release the Marcus Phoenix collection, which is a real thing. And then that's going to be multi-platform day one, right? So the thing is, you think about that. So now you're going to get, let's say, a PlayStation. You got a PlayStation. You're going to get your PlayStation games day one. You're going to get a lot of the Xbox games day one. Some of them on a timed exclusive, maybe 90 days. What, you can't wait 90 days? PC will wait 2 years, right? Yes, so you get that, and you're going to get all the third-party day one. Why the fuck are you going to buy anything else? Excuse me. What are you going to buy?
No.
There is no... You have saved me thousands of dollars by when PlayStation... Well, PS5 Pro is a guarantee for me. And then, of course, the PS6, that'll be the only console I purchase next generation. And that's just the way it's going to be. So I know some people like still, put me in that different category, but like, oh my God, this is an Xbox guy. I am, but not really. At the end of the day, I'm a consumer. Yeah. And as a consumer, if you are not fulfilling my needs as a consumer, and I don't feel that that money that I am investing in your company is worth it, then you have lost my business temporarily or maybe permanently. So you have to separate yourself. You do not belong to this company. They don't give a shit who you are. They don't even know who you are. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel this way. And it's not I'm salty. I'm not being a pony. I'm not a pony bot. I'm not a this and that. I'm a fucking consumer, brother.
Yes.
I'm a consumer, and a consumer has my hard-earned money sitting in my pocket, in my wallet, on my card, whatever. It's all there, and I will give that money to whom is providing me with the best source of entertainment. And right now, for the last 2 years, 99.9% of that, my entertainment has been consumed on PlayStation 5. That's just the way it is.
Shit.
And I've said it before. I say it again. I don't give a shit. And you know, the thing is, like, it's just the way it is because they are providing me with the entertainment I require. And same with my family. The 2020, when this generation started, I started with 4 series consoles and 1 PlayStation 5, and I had 2 Switches already. That was from, you know, before. So I had the 4 series consoles, 2 X's, 2 S's, and a PS5 digital. Fast forward to today, my son got rid of his Xbox. My wife, there's a great story too. You're gonna love this one. My wife, I hear fumbling around. I'm in the basement. I have an 80s arcade in my basement, which I built. I think if you watch XNC, you see it in the background, right? I mean, I usually broadcast from that room. So, anyways, I'm in there, and I also have my modern gaming setup in the same room. I basically created a shrine, which we'll talk about later. The shrine to my, you know, an homage to my entire life in this passion of ours, right? And anyways, so I hear this fumbling around. I hear pulling cords, and I hear this, and I hear the cabinet moving. And I'm going, what the fuck is she doing up there? And she comes downstairs. She goes to the one of the storage closets, and I see her pulling out the Series X box, right? And I'm like, what are you doing? And then she goes, just don't worry about it. And she goes back upstairs. Anyways, obviously, what do you mean don't worry about it? Of course, I got to put the controller down, walk upstairs, find out what's going on, right? I go upstairs, and she's got the Series X back in the box. And I said to her, I go, what are you doing? She goes, I'm going to GameStop. I'll be back. And she, word for word, looks me right in the face. She goes, I am fucking tired of waiting for these people. Those were her exact words. She leaves. She comes back. Like, now, GameStop is like, I don't know, a couple of 100 yards from the house, right? It's not far.
Yeah.
She drove over there. She was back in 25 minutes with a PlayStation 5.
Wow.
What she did, then what we did is we put my account on it so that, you know, we're kind of game sharing with the digital. And I obviously own everything. Games wise, she downloaded everything that could fit on that hard drive from like the PS4 because she never played the PS4 games.
Oh, wow.
So what did she do?
Okay.
No, man, she didn't do anything. She was playing on Xbox and sparingly because, you know, well, you know, we don't have to explain why it was sparingly, but you know what I mean? And so then all of a sudden she downloads God of War, Ragnarok, 2 Ratchet and Clanks, Days Gone, one of my favorite games of all time. Days Gone. She downloads all the Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2, remastered, the whole fucking 9 yards, right? Yeah, dude. So she needed to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So she needed to catch up. So what does she do? She just goes to work. Like, I mean, like it was like she went into like the laboratory. She was finding like, you know, the vaccine for COVID. Like she was in there 18 hours a day just going. When she wasn't working, she was in there and she played a whole generation of games and then caught up and started playing PS5. Now she's on the PS5. Ragnarok, Forbidden West, whatever else. She rebought Hogwarts Legacy because it was on sale, whatever. Now she's playing all the PlayStation games. She's playing First Descendant with me and this and that, whatever, right? So we're doing all this stuff, and she's just, and you know what she said to me? She said, I haven't had this much fun in years because she was exclusively an Xbox player from the 360 all the way up until 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. Bro.
And she'll never, and she even said, she goes, I will never look back. She's not getting a Pro. She said she doesn't need a Pro. But she said day one PS6 for this house. My son, same thing. He got rid of his S. He gave it to my daughter. She's just a little kid. She's just 8 years old, right? And she don't know what the fuck's going on. So she just has a game. She plays Fortnite on it with him in the other room or whatever. So she don't give a shit. You know. But anyways, the point is now. Fast forward, as I said, 4 series consoles, 1 PS5 digital. Fast forward, we now have 4 PS5s in the house. Okay. No, excuse me. Sorry. 3 PS5s in the house and 2 series consoles. So we got rid of, like, it's reversed. You see what I'm saying? So everything is reversed. So it's just like it's gone the other way because that's just what's happening. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't understand how people get offended by this. I'm making a decision as a consumer where I feel that they're giving me the better value and they're giving me the better experiences. So what the hell difference does that make? Why are you offended? It's like people get offended if you got an Android over an iPhone. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, you know what it is, Mag. Particularly for us as former Xbox fans and enthusiasts. like coming into this space, dude, and you probably felt it too. Coming into this space because we came in like on similar fronts. Yours was a lot more comical and a lot more entertaining than mine. Like I was just running my mouth, but I love your skits. Like even when I was like not an Xbox fan, I loved your skits, and I was like, holy! And then when you were like, hold on, dude, that's me. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know that middle-aged gamer. That's me. I made the connection then. So, but we came in doing this shit because we felt like we needed to expose PlayStation. And again, me and Cold Blood go back and forth about this. I feel like legacy PlayStation, before they kind of like went through this metamorphosis recently, I do feel like that a lot of it may have been over-exaggerated, where I feel like Xbox with the OG and the 360 was a breath of fresh air. And I think what we did, you, your wife included, we kind of like got mentally into this silo to where we thought that PlayStation would always just be popular off of a gimmick. There's no way their AI is too bad in their games. It's all walking simulators, and we missed the metamorphosis. And I mean, I can just imagine what your wife is going through, or maybe I can't, because the mind fuck that I went through, bro, when I played God of War, then Last of Us 2, then Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, whoa, hold on, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
This is what happened. This is what happened. And so like what she is experiencing, so because she's done all that now. Now she's caught up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. She is now basically remember what Tim Dog went through like 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Remember that? Like he was all over social media going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I missed all these games," and he was rhyming up all these games, and people were losing their minds or whatever else. And that's what my wife went through. The same story. And the funny thing is, if you actually put my wife and Tim Dog have done the same thing, you and I have gone through the same metamorphosis as we slowly realize that the Matrix is not real. And and we're like, what the hell's going on? By the way, Andrew Wilkins in the chat here, he's not wrong. You're not wrong, Andrew Wilkins. I see what you said there about me. And you're absolutely not wrong. I was down a road where I was not... I'll you know what? I'll bend the knee to it. I'll bend the knee. I'll take the L. I absolutely will bend the knee and take the L and say I was wrong. I was wrong about what I was saying about PlayStation. And when I realized what Sony was doing and how good they actually were, and when I really realized it was during the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic, before the PS5 came out, is that we got a PS4 Slim, and I started playing some of the games that I hadn't got. They were on sale, this and that, whatever. And I was playing all those, and I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, these are, and I mean, I was always playing the Uncharteds and things like that, right? But then I got into some of the other ones, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are for real. And like and then when you get engaged, where you blink once and then it's 6 hours later, that they've got you by the balls, because you're like, holy shit, these guys really know how to keep you engaged in a very, well, I hate to use the word twice, but in a very engaging story with engaging gameplay loop and incredible bombastic budgets that go into these. I mean, let's face it, we understand that Sony is also a Hollywood studio. So they know how to put out a blockbuster. You know what I'm saying? So they do that in these gaming spaces. You can't compete with that kind of that gravitas. It's almost impossible. So Andrew Wilkins, you're not wrong. And I almost feel embarrassed by some of the shit I said. And I did the videos. The videos were kind of funny. I was just being a goof, whatever else. And you know what the funny thing is? I've actually stopped making those videos because I stopped making those videos not because I'm like, they're cringe, or like this, the kids say, he's being cringe, you fucking cringe, fucking old man, go retire, old man, you fucking boomer, whatever, and all these things. I didn't stop because of that. I stopped because I was wrong. And joking or not, it's not funny when it's not right. And the thing is that when I started speaking against like the other stuff, and I really started saying, guys, listen, just as a consumer, never mind as like whatever, if you want to be a warrior in some console war bullshit, whatever. The thing is that you should respect a person's decisions as to what they want to do based on what they want to do. Let them do what they want to do. And I'm totally open. If people say that Xbox is the greatest thing ever, I'm like, hey, man, Godspeed. Go have fun. Are you having fun? And they say yes. I said, then God bless, say less. Go have fun. Enjoy yourself. I will never shit talk anybody for enjoying something. But you know what happened to me? I started saying some nice things about Sony and realizing what they were doing. And then I started pointing out that Microsoft absolutely sucked fucking balls this generation. And it's been 4 years of nothing but an absolute disappointment. I give this generation a 1 out of 10. And I said it on XNC. I said it on Mooch's show. I said it everywhere else. I said the Xbox One launch was 100 times better than what they did this launch. And and you know what? And it's showing in its numbers. Yeah. It's showing in its numbers. Look at the numbers now. They sold more Xbox Ones in what was considered to be one of the worst generations in video gaming history.
Yes.
And yet the series consoles are doing worse. It is beyond comprehension. So I start pointing out this obvious truth. And they block me. They stop watching me. They start shit talking me. People send me threats, all kinds of stuff, and like horrible things say horrible things to me and this and that. And I'm like, are you guys for fucking real? Like, are you gonna and it's fine that you want to do what you want to do, but I'm like, are you gonna go this far and you're gonna defend to the death a mediocre experience? I am tired of defending them. I am tired of waiting for that. You remember the old saying? I said it to Mooch last night. He almost choked on his drink. Remember, I said, "Hey Mooch, I remember the first 6 years of the Xbox One. It was from 2013 to 2019. It was wait till the next E3. Then they canceled the next E3. And then it was wait till next year, when all the wait till next year. Next year is going to be the year. You remember that? And then look at this generation, 2021. Microsoft won. By the way, they won. I'm sure you know they won Publisher of the Year that year. Okay, they had a great year.
Yep.
2022, they released fucking nothing, right? And so then everybody said, don't worry, 2023 is the year of Xbox. Fantastic. What did they release in 2023? 2 bombs and a mediocre experience, right? And Hi-Fi Rush, which nobody played, by the way. Speaking of which.
I did.
There he is. Here, I got some stats for you, and I'm going to pull them up right here. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to read it. There we go. Okay, these are achievements recorded from Hi-Fi Rush. These are the people that are carrying the flags, okay, running into battle, doing all this other bullshit. Oh yes, there it is. 30%, 30% of players got to level 4.
Yes.
48% got to level 3. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Finishing the game on easy mode, 1.26% finished the game. Are you for fucking real? And these are the people going, they gave up Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so you must have been the 1.2% because everybody apparently is the 1.2%. And I screenshotted them in case anybody ever comes after me. I'll be like, dude, I got them right here. They're on my phone. I screenshotted every single one. I went into the app at like in the middle of the night in bed, and I went and go, let me check out those achievements. Let me see what this community's doing. They're not playing the fucking game. Okay, and then the same thing with Hellblade. People liked it. Hey, listen, I'm not shit talking the game. Okay, if you liked it, you liked it. You didn't, you didn't. Exactly, It was there today. It was here today, gone later that day. It wasn't even here today, gone tomorrow. The news was dead the same day it came out. And so, anyways, that was. I'm getting ahead of myself. So 2023, you had Hi-Fi Rush. Nobody played it. I don't give a shit what anybody says, except for Cold Blood. You had two bombs, which was Redfall, and you had Forza Motorsport, which were bombs. They were absolute trash games. And you had a mediocre experience in Starfield. And that was your 2023. That was supposed to be the year of Xbox, right? Yeah. So then what did they say? Oh, don't worry. 2024 is the year of Xbox. Special Nick, who's the head of Xbox Era. You know Xbox Era?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what he said on XNC 2 weeks ago? He said, yeah, 2024, the year of Xbox. He goes, month 9, we're still fucking waiting for a game longer than 4 hours. That's the head of Xbox Era.
Yeah.
He said that on our show. He sent in a super chat. He sent in $10 to say that. And nobody knew what to say. It was just quiet. Everybody's like, I guess Nick is right. Of course he's right. So now the wait till E3 has turned into wait till next year. Yeah. Right? And now we are approaching year fucking PS5. You have Avowed got moved out of there. You got Stalker 2, which I still think Stalker 2 is not going to be that great. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's going to be a bit messy of a game, and I don't think it's going to be as good as everybody's hyping it up to be. You got Indie Jones, which is coming to PlayStation by February, most likely. So what the hell is the point? Call of Duty is just like my favorite women. It's for the streets. Everybody's got it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, everybody's playing Call of Duty, all right? Everybody's getting a piece of the action. So I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Sorry, I had to throw that out there. That's kind of my, yeah. So, Call of Duty's is for the streets. Everybody gets a piece of that. So, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So it's no longer, that's not an Xbox game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they got nothing. Again, this year, it's another dead year. So imagine paying $240 American, by the way, $340 Canadian for that.
Yeah.
Are you out of your fucking mind? And the other thing is, too, is that the third-party games are not going to be partnering with them anymore because they're not gonna give all that money up. They're going to be like, no, for who?
Yeah.
There's nobody there. The engagement is not there. What the hell's the point? They actually have a better chance, unless you're an indie developer, they have a better chance of just selling a third party and go PC, PS5, and of course the series consoles, and eventually the Switch 2 next year. You're going to make a hell of a lot more money than trying to do these deals in Game Pass. So what are you going to get stuck with? You're going to get the maybe 3, maybe 4 first party experiences a year, right? And maybe 4. I'd say you probably have a better bet of 3 as each one keeps getting shoved, further and further down the line. You get 3 games a year, and you're going to get a bunch of games like Lil Gator Detective, like, and Goat Simulator 6. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here, right? $240. You start doing the math. Dude, 70, 140, 210. You can buy 3.5 AAA games at full price. You might as well just buy the fucking games.
I say this
I don't
all
know,
the time,
or
man.
am I crazy?
No, you're like, I want to preface this because we got a lot of people that showed up in the chat. Glad that you did it. Again, if you guys don't know, you should know. This is Mag, my homie Mag, one of the original supporters of this platform. Like when at best I had 10 motherfuckers in here in the chat. You know what I mean? We were just joking about that before we went live. You know what I mean? Mag has gone through similar journeys, like where we both came in this game. Oh, fuck ponies and the hell with PlayStation, to where now we're like, what happened to the Xbox that we knew? Mag is a co-host of XNC podcast with Colt Eastwood, and he's breaking down his observation of gaming between Xbox and PlayStation, his conversion of where he spends his time now. So this is not a pony, you know what I'm saying, per se. This is a gamer. This is a gamer who came on the scene like your boy. That's why I can relate to this, and I'm loving this interview already, because you guys think it's all about capping and whatever the latest buzzword is, whatever the fuck it is. It's not about that. It's about being a consumer, looking out for the rest of the gaming community and making sure they understand what they're getting into, instead of just trying to rubber stamp something just for the sake of keeping everybody else happy. You guys got on Mag's fucking case when he was telling the truth, all right? Before, I remember that, Mag, when you were breaking this shit down several months ago, and they were sitting there clipping you and saying all this shit. And
oh boy,
he's not doing it, but I'll do it for him. Look at me now. I'll take the victory lap for him. But let me shut up now. Let me give it back to you, because they want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead, Mag. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's coming to fruition slowly but sure. The funny thing is, when I mentioned all this stuff back in January about the stuff going third party. By the way, I want to clear up something. Some people ask me, and I get the question quite a bit, where people say, "Dude, you're on like one of the top 5 Xbox podcasts on the planet." You have Xbox Era, you have the Xbox 2, you have the XNC podcast, and then of course you have the bigger one, IGN Unlocked, right? Yeah. And with Destin and everything else. And I talk to Destin, every once in a while, and everybody's civil, whatever. But here's the thing: they're enjoying the fact that I'm the yin to Colt's yang, where he's like the more enthusiastic Xbox guy or whatever, and I'm sitting there going, I was that. and then they're just, to me, they're just, as I used to say about PlayStation, unfortunately, like I said, I wish I could take that back. But you know what? There's a lot of things we'd all like to take back of things we said. But they are 100% the Sideshow Bob walking on the 80 rakes. Yeah. And like just keep turning around, stepping on another one, stepping on another. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's just constant. And listen, if that's the route they want to go ahead.
Yeah.
But what you're doing in the long run, again, to me, as a consumer, you're saving me money because, like I said, I'm just going to buy a PS5 Pro, and a PS6 because I will still be able to play the Xbox games. I will still be able to play my Call of Duty with my friends and everything else. All I need is that Activision ID. You don't need the Xbox. I got a lot of people on Xbox. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of friends on Xbox, and a lot of them that want to play games with me, they just use my Activision ID and they find me on Call of Duty, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't really make a difference. I got a Series X sitting here. I just don't turn it on. Yeah. Because to me, I find no reason to. Now, in the future, let's just say, for argument's sake, as these things continue and the things do not drop day and date, let's say they wait 90 days. These are single player experiences for the most part that are waiting a little while. I can wait on those. You know why? Because I actually tend to finish a lot of my backlog before I buy new games, and so essentially I have a constant rotating backlog. So right now I'm playing First Ascendant because multiplayer games I will play those day one. You know what I mean? Like Call of Duty, I will be right there day one. I'm gonna be fucking shit up with my son and my wife day one, doing the Call of Duty thing. But first party games, I just finished Dying Light 2. I put in 125 hours plus, give or take, into that game. Love the game. And now I'm playing, what am I playing? I'm playing Lego Harry Potter on my PS Portal just because, it's something I play in bed. And then when I'm downstairs, now on one of the consoles, I'm playing, what the hell is it called? Avatar, the Ubisoft one, the new one that came out last year. Was it whatever of Pandora? Yeah. I'm playing Avatar, and then I'm going into Final Fantasy 16. There's no rush. You know what I mean? So by the time I finish those games, then I'm going to get into Stellar Blade. And by then, Stellar Blade's 50% off. So, what am I, you know what I mean? And then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and all that other stuff. I'm going to get into all those games. And the funny thing is, by the time I get to them, they're already 50% off. And so, what's the point? I used to be that guy who used to buy everything day one. And then I would just stare at the tile for like a year. Yes. Right? Because I'd be playing all this other shit. And I'd be like, oh, okay, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I'll get to you, buddy. I'll get to you. And I don't get to you until 2022. Well, why not just wait till 2022 to buy it? And then I could buy it for $30 instead of 70, 80, 90, whatever. And so here's how I brought that up. I didn't bring that up for no reason. I brought that up for one reason only, is because then when Xbox has timed releases on their console, guess what? By the time I actually get to it, it'll already be on PlayStation at most likely a reduced price. So who gives a shit? I'll just buy the $1.
And most likely better. Like I made the case earlier. I don't know what you think about this.
I was going to ask you that question. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel?
Do you think? Like, for example, let me ask you this question. Sure. See, I'm reversing the process here. Now I'm asking MM2K questions.
Hey, look, every time I talk, the numbers go down, so you take over. I'm listening.
Oh, stop it. No. I want to ask you a question. I have my own thoughts, but I want to know, when these games come to the PS5 Pro, for example, your Indiana Jones, your Call of Duties, your whatever else, right? When they come out there, are they going to be better? Are they going to play better? Or do you think they're going to take that embarrassment and say, well, you can play it on the Xbox and it's okay, or you can play a superior version of an Xbox game on the PlayStation? Do you think that's going to happen? Or do you think they're going to go for parity?
This may sound cynical to some, but my thought process now, after looking at this week, is they're no longer embarrassed. I mean, if you're going to release Indiana Jones, and you're going to tell when it's coming to PlayStation for the same time that you give an Xbox date, that type of thing isn't embarrassing to them. It's almost to the point to where they're trying to push you. Like, and I've said this in a tweet earlier, they're trying to push you to, hey, look, if you're a super diehard fan, look, we got this fucking Series X that's still 7 nanometers, and we're selling it for $800 or whatever. You know what I mean? If you're super diehard and you must have Xbox, like if you're sitting in your Xbox onesie right now, like fine, buy all the Xbox hardware that you want. Everybody else, we're kind of recommending that you get the fuck off our hardware and you go play somewhere. I think they're excited at the possibility that you can play Indiana Jones, get all those bells and whistles that potentially the PSSR can give you without them having to build the hardware themselves.
Right.
Remember, MAGG, and I got to shut up because, again, the people want to hear you. But remember, MAGG, when Phil did the Fortune magazine interview. And one of the most telling moments wasn't the whole, would you market that or all that, when it was talking about xCloud. The most telling moment to me is when the guy asked him, "Are you guys profitable when you sell a console?" I've never seen Phil's face look so disgusted. He just said no, but it looked like that fucking that an appendix bursted or something like the dude was mortified at the thought, you can tell, of selling hardware. So if he can sell that game in Indiana Jones, that motherfucker can look popping on the PSSR or on PC or anything, and all they got to do is sell the game. I think they're happy. I don't think they care about the status of
no, they don't
anymore. Yeah,
no, they don't. So. And I've already said it from the beginning. The minute ABK was a thing, everybody was running the streets. I said, no, guys, they are moving to be a third-party publisher, and Microsoft is going to take them over because Microsoft does not hand over $70 billion. Well, if you want to include Bethesda, $80 billion just for you to run wild. Yeah. That's never going to happen. There are way too many caveats in there. There are way too many strings attached to that. They would never just say, yeah, here, Phil, here's $80 billion, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're flinging $1 bills at a stripper at a club and going, you know what I mean? Making it rain and going, here you go, Phil, have fun, buddy. Do a couple lines of coke in the bathroom and enjoy yourself. They didn't, that's not what they did.
Exactly.
They said, you want this money? It's ours now.
Yeah.
And what they're going to do, and then to say Xbox has just become Windows. Xbox just became Microsoft Office.
Exactly.
You're going to be part of this machine where you're going to, eventually you're going to have, well, sure, you're going to have, for now, you're going to have some hardware. Eventually, it's just going to be a service, and it's going to be a third-party publisher, and they're going to make billions. Hey, listen, man, I'm not faulting them. And that's the other thing. Like, I see some people, true Virgil, I see you. You know what I mean? I'm not blind just because I'm old.
True Virgil's the resident comedian, but go ahead.
I know. I mean, hey, man, I watch all your shows too, just because I'm skulking around. I see these guys in the chat. Anyways, the thing is, people think I'm shit-talking Microsoft. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you what they're doing. It doesn't jive with me. And what you're actually doing is you're actually helping me out. Because like I said, now I only have to buy one console next generation. That's it. I don't have to buy two. I don't have to spend $2,000 on day one, which I did the first round. You know what I mean? Spending all this cash or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm going to buy one because I'm going to get all those experiences on the one. And so therefore, what's the point? And I'm totally okay with that. And Microsoft is going to make billions and billions. I sound like Donald Trump. Billions and billions of dollars. Yep. Yeah, crazy Kamala. No, yeah, sorry. Anyways, it's like, billions and billions of dollars they're gonna make it. Okay, they're gonna make all that money, and they're gonna continue to do so. They're gonna be the new. And I said this to Colt. I said Microsoft just became the American Tencent. Yeah. And they're just going to be making bank. Absolutely. And they're going to be doing it, and they're going to love doing it, and the investors are going to love doing it. And you know why? They're not going to be tethered with tens of millions of dollars in R&D for new products, for new consoles, for manufacturing, for shipping, receiving, for packaging, for all this other bullshit that they got to do to make a console that nobody fucking wants.
Yeah.
So just make the products that people want. People want the service. People like Game Pass, and people want the games. And that's all there is to it. And they're going to make a ton of money doing it. And then PlayStation's going to make a ton of money. They don't give a shit about PlayStation. They love that PlayStation's getting all those games. Why? Microsoft takes 70% of the sale. They get the publisher fee of 70%. Sony takes 30%. They all go to the strip club. Everybody's getting, Moet champagne and Cristal, and they're having a good time, and they're all laughing at fools like us. Because we're sitting on podcasts, yip-yapping and fighting and sending death threats and all this other bullshit, and they're making billions of dollars. Guys, do what you like, enjoy what you like, but understand the business is a business. Phil said it yesterday. He said it yesterday, didn't he? What did he say yesterday? This is a business. Remember when they asked him about Indiana Jones? Yeah. This is a business. And that means that, you know what that translates to? Bro, I don't give a fuck about you, your podcast, your friends, your Twitter buddies, how many people liked your video of you running around with a fucking unicorn on your head. Nobody cares. They're making all the money, and that's why, for me as a consumer, I don't care. I don't give a fuck either. I'm just going to go where I enjoy the best experiences. And as it stands, and as it's going to stand, I can almost guarantee it, is that it's going to be through Sony, and I'm still going to be supporting Microsoft products through Sony. That's all there is to it. Too bad, so sad. You don't like it? Go do something else.
Here's my question to you, and I'm going to pivot to,
Sure.
like our we're going to do some bromance over old school Xbox.
The old school, sure. By the way,
Yeah.
Tio, you're hilarious, buddy.
Yeah, see there.
Yeah,
the
I'm
chat is
watching him in the
cutting
chat.
up. That's why I said I keep my talking to a minimum. Y'all have heard my rambling on forever. We're gonna turn it over to MAGG, your new host for the day. So, but with that said, MAGG, I want to transition into talking about, okay, the gamers that are disillusioned. Like I'm with you 1,000% about the creators that just can't get over it, that don't realize what's going on here, and they need to just get a deal with a cold dose of reality. But the
Sure.
gamers that are upset because they invested in the console and they thought the console would do a certain thing, and now they're realizing that, hey, maybe the Xbox games that I do prefer, now they're going to PlayStation. I would have been willing to wait, so I lost out. And worst of all, because of the current Xbox strategy when it comes to consoles, those guys are going to start missing out more and more on third-party games. So that's the backdrop that we're in now. My question for you, as far as where we came from, how did Xbox get here? Like, how did they go from the bright light bulb that they were in the OG era, the fucking total monster that they were in the 360, to what we've seen the last two generations?
Corporate interference. And what they became, you got to keep in mind, it's actually kind of amusing when you think about the OG Xbox, and everybody was like, oh, they're the underdog, they're the Rocky Balboa of gaming and this and that. They're part of a multi-trillion-dollar corporation. There's no underdog.
Yeah.
I understand the division is, because, that's something else that a lot of people have to understand, and I'm sure people understand the fact, is that when a company is worth $3 trillion, doesn't mean Xbox is worth $3 trillion.
Yeah.
If anybody understands how the whole concept works, is that, if you're a division of a multi-trillion-dollar corporation, they give you a budget. You fuck up that budget, you're out. And they're going to shut you down. They're going to then envelop your best people, and then they're going to move on like like a giant amoeba that basically just keeps absorbing stuff and moving on, and just, or like a pack of locusts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Consume, move forward. Consume more, move forward. It's just that endless. It's the endless need for greed, so to speak. And so. What ends up happening is they started off scrappy. They did what they did. They did damn near the impossible by going up against, we had Sega, PlayStation, and Nintendo, and nobody fucked with the Japanese. Are you out of your mind? And then all of a sudden, here come the Americans, and everybody's like, what? Right? It's like, that hadn't been done before, right? And so they did what they did. I actually never played the original Xbox at all. I was a PlayStation 2 player. I was a PS1 player. I was a PS2 player. I stopped playing Nintendo in the early 90s. Once I was done with the Street Fighter 2 Mortal Kombat era of Super Nintendo, I never touched Nintendo again after that. I have them because I have kids, and once in a while I'll throw on like I'll check out that new Zelda. I hated it. Oh my god! Hey, by the way, if anybody loves 8 frames per second, play the new Zelda. What a fucking treat! Game of the year, folks. 8 frames per second. It looks like me dancing in a strobe light at the club. Anyways, anyway, the point is I played PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, adored those systems, never touched the Xbox. Then one day, I'll never forget this, and then what ended up happening is one of my friends at work, at this point I was becoming a man, I was in my 20s, whatever else, and one of the guys at work picked up a 360, and I go, what the fuck is a 360? And then I go, is it like a mid Xbox, like a newer Xbox? He goes, no, it's a whole new generation. And I'm like, what do you mean a whole new generation? Where did this come from? I go, where's PlayStation then? He goes, PlayStation didn't release one. I'm going, okay, so you're telling me only Xbox launched a new generation and PlayStation didn't even talk about a PS3, right? And then he's like, no, just this. Anyways, I went to his house, I played FIFA, and I was like, holy fuck, this is incredible, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is like nothing I've ever seen. And I'm like, okay, whatever, done. Went home, and then I saw a commercial on TV for Dead Rising. And I saw Dead Rising, and it said only on Xbox 360. And I went, well, fuck me twice. I went to the store the next day, and I bought a 360, and I bought Dead Rising day one, and I just fell. And then the 360 dominated for me that generation. I still bought a PS3. I still bought a PS3 eventually. I was playing Uncharted, Last of Us, and all those other games. I played all those. I loved it. What was another one I loved? The one, what the hell is the guy's name with the the fucking what's it called? You got the electricity. You know the electricity.
Infamous.
There you go. Infamous 1 and 2. Love those games.
Yeah,
Great games. And actually, funny enough, Ninja Theory had a fantastic game on Heavenly Sword on PS3.
Heavenly Sword, yeah.
Yes, my God. Please, Ninja Theory, please.
Yeah.
Enough with the Hellblade. Let's go. And I don't even want Project Mara. I don't want to walk around and stare at a fucking carpet for 2 hours, okay? They're like, oh, look at the carpet. You can see all the fibers in it. And I'm like, well, that's fantastic. Show me the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Release a Heavenly Sword too, please. Anyways, then that's when I played it. But you know what? Isn't that funny how it works? When you see a commercial on TV and it said, only on Xbox.
That actually works.
What did it make me do, but what did it make me do, brother?
Yeah.
I got up off my ass and went to the store and bought an Xbox because it's only available on the Xbox. Don't tell me this bullshit doesn't work. You know what I mean? Same thing with PlayStation. Only on PlayStation, only on PlayStation, only on PlayStation. Well, what do? You go and buy a PlayStation, right? Because you want to play those amazing experiences you just saw either on TV or on a basketball court, like they did with God of War, or on the side of a subway. You see Spider-Man all over the side of the subway and this and that, whatever, right? And so what ended up happening is Xbox 360 just absolutely dominated the online scene. You know, Call of Duty was coming up the ranks. Remember Call of Duty 4, the first Modern Warfare, and everything else. That Modern Warfare 2, my God, those lobbies. If you're any form of soft, you wouldn't survive in one of those lobbies. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about people?
Remember, Mag, when they had to make the hardcore? There was different zones. Like there weren't any rules to weed out offensive people. Like no, it was like okay. If you shit talk like that here, you go in the hardcore zone. If you can't tolerate the shit talking at the extreme level, then you go to this zone or go to that zone. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know the tropes. Like, you know, everybody's like, you know, you see those things on like the reels on Instagram or whatever. It's like y'all wouldn't survive a lobby in Modern Warfare 2 or whatever. Yeah. It's 100% true. Yeah. But true. Anyways, what they did is, and then they were in the exact right spot with the 360, and of course with the, you know, the online with the friggin', I always forget the damn name. They had the connection to the internet and everything else. You could plug right into your modem. Yep. Okay, the whole 9 yards, and you had great online experiences. They had headphones, they had everything. They even had that one, you know, that stupid little headphone that used to stick out of one ear. You remember that?
The wireless. That was I had the wireless one, dude. Oh, that's
the wireless.
I got that motherfucker laminated.
Dude, it's like what they used to have at the McDonald's drive-thrus before they got the proper headset. Yeah, like those things. And then they had the little ones sitting there. They had the little ones that actually it came packaged with what the hell was that game?
Fucking Rainbow Six? Was it one of the Rainbow Six?
Well,
games?
there was I think it was Rainbow Six, or it was the other one, Warfighter. Ghost Recon. It came packaged with Ghost Recon or something. Anyways, they did all that, and where was Xbox? Right in the forefront. They had the 1 year jump on PlayStation. They had a cheaper price, because then eventually PS3 got announced and then was more expensive. Isn't that funny how that works? Because then you look at the next generation, what happened? Microsoft did the exactly opposite. They did exactly what PlayStation failed at. That is literally the stupid. That's like you walking like off a cliff, and I watch you fall off the cliff and die, and then I go, oh shit, I can't believe that just happened, and then I follow you and then fall off the cliff and die. Are you out of your mind? Yeah, like what? What are you doing? So anyways, Xbox was doing well, but what else they do? They had a ton of exclusives. Oh yeah. You had BioShock. Yeah. You had all the marketing deals with Call of Duty. Every Call of Duty, remember that? Yep. The maps got early. You did all that other stuff, whatever, blah blah blah, and they dominated in there. You wanted you want to play Call of Duty in the World Champion leagues with all the professional teams? It was all on Xbox. Yep. What was the other one? They made a trilogy of Mass Effect. Mass Effect was another one. Mass Effect was exclusive to Xbox. Isn't that funny how all that shit works? And you have all these third party and first party games, and Halo was doing great. They had Halo 3, then they had ODST and all these other games, and they were just absolutely rocking the fucking world. And this is an American company that Japanese won't buy. Yeah. Okay. A lot of Europeans don't want. Let's face it. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. A lot of people around the world don't like Americans. Okay, that's just the way it is. It is the way it is. Hey, listen, I'm half American too. I'm not just talking shit. You know, my dad's American. So I'm just saying, like, if you go to some of these other countries, they don't like Americans, so they're not gonna buy American products. Yeah. The fact that the 360 did so well without the support of the Asian market and a lot of the European market is mind-blowing. Yep. And that should have been their look into the future.
The blueprint.
And It's the blueprint. And you know what the funny thing is? Then you fast forward to the Xbox One era. And what did they do? They did everything fucking backwards. And then what did Sony do? Sony literally was like, Sony was the dude sitting in the classroom, you know, doing the multiple choice exam, and then kind of looked over at Xbox's paper and said, oh, okay, those are the answers. And then wrote all the answers down and then did that for the PS4. So they literally mimicked the 360 generation and absolutely dominated the living fuck out of Xbox. And then, of course, what did Xbox do? Started stepping on rakes. And that's when it started, by the way. Because 2013, actually, no, I'm not going to say that. That's not fair. 2015 is when they really started to fuck up. 2013 and 2014, for me, I thought Xbox did fantastic. You remember the Xbox One launch? What a great amount of games they had at launch. They had Rise, Son of Rome. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say they did have a decent amount of games. Like they were.
Weren't they great?
Go ahead. I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, weren't they great? I'm just going, no, go ahead.
Yeah. Like me personally, like I may have not been moved as much as I was like the 360, but they did definitely put more effort into their launch lineup, I feel, than Xbox, than PlayStation did when it came to launch. I think what it was with Xbox was they got killed on the power narrative. Like they really got hammered on the power narrative. And I will, and even though I am a fan of PlayStation, I will say that those early years, the first few years from launch, there was a lot of bullshit from the media and from the other side. There was media bias because they wanted to see the underdog win. And when PlayStation had the extra 180p, they didn't care about the exclusives then. They didn't care about they were leaning on Octodad. That's when they went full ham on Xbox and, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong. But in my opinion, my personal opinion, I thought 2013 was a fantastic launch for the product. And this is not including third-party stuff, because third-party games were rocking. Yeah, and they were doing great. But, I mean, look at the launch of that system. You had Dead Rising 3 exclusive to Xbox One. You had Rise Son of Rome exclusive to Xbox One launching on the system. They had a Halo launching with it. Did they have Halo? I can't remember what the hell they launched with it. No, it wasn't Halo.
4 had came out the year prior.
No, it wasn't Halo. Sorry, my bad. I was thinking of Halo 5, but that was a year later or whatever. Then they announced Rise of the Tomb Raider, exclusive, at least for a timed period, and exclusive to the Xbox One. And I'm like, holy shit, this is how you do it, guys. You know, but they charged $100 more. They had less power. And then, you know, and then what ended up happening, everybody's going to go after Microsoft because they're the big bad corporation and this and that. Sony was the other underdog again. And then what's happening? But you know, the thing is, they didn't just, you know, and you're right, the first couple of years of the PS4 weren't really great. But when they really took off, when Uncharted 4 came on out and on, the thing with Sony, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand, and it's something I failed to see. So I will take the L. Everybody in the chat, you hear it here, okay? I will take the L on this, and I'm not shy to say it, man. And when I fuck up, I'll tell you. Except my wife. Don't ever fucking tell her anything. I never wrong when I talk to her. Anyways, she's gonna listen to this later, by the way. She's gonna be like, hey, the fuck you are. Yeah, anyways, the thing is that Sony backs up what they do with 10 out of 10 quality. They back them everything they say. Their arrogance, they have arrogance, let's face it. Their arrogance, the pricing, the not giving a rat's ass, hey, we're charging an extra $10, take it or leave it, motherfucker, we don't care. But you know what? They back it up with Game of the Year quality, 10 out of 10 scores, engaging experiences that everybody talks about, right? We're not talking about just other people. My mom, it's saying, hey, honey, did you watch that Last of Us show? I heard it's a wonderful game. And I'm like, well, it's not a wonderful game. I wanted to commit suicide, but it's a game. I mean, I love that. Last of Us is my favorite series of all time. But like, my mom is sitting down. My mom is like almost 70, and she's sitting down watching Last of Us, for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying? And it gets into the zeitgeist, the public zeitgeist. They're able to tap into that pop culture, and then they back it up with quality. You know what I'm saying? Quality. Even I don't give a shit what anybody says. Days Gone. What was it? Like a 60-something Metacritic? My top five. My top 5 games of the last generation. One of them was Days Gone.
That was a great game.
I adored that game. I know that King Thrash I listened to the King Thrash interview. You and King Thrash were talking about Days Gone, and he said some funny things, which obviously I can't repeat, but it was funny. But anyways, the point is that they back up everything with quality. Yeah. The problem that I'm seeing, and this has been a consistent problem now for about 10 years straight, is that Microsoft does all this, does all that. This is the strategy. No, now this is the strategy. I don't care how many strategies you got. You can have 100 different business strategies. Yeah. The problem is you're backing it up with mediocrity. And that is why people are walking away. At the end of the day, brother, it is not about console wars, what flag you're waving, who this, who that. If your games are shit, then people are not going to continue to support it. And they have been nothing but shit, except for one game in 10 years. I swear to God, I'm saying this right now. The only game that I liked that I could say was an absolute 10 out of 10 banger for me was Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
Psychonaut, by the way, if anybody has the in the chat has the option of playing Psychonauts 2, go play that game. Holy shit, what an incredible platforming game. The amount of ingenuity, the love, and the cleverness of this game is unmatched, and it is an absolute masterpiece for me. I thought it was a travesty that it didn't win Game of the Year, and it was nominated for Game of the Year, but it didn't win Game of the Year. But to me, it was an absolute masterpiece. That was what's his name? Tim Schafer? Is that his name? Tim Schafer. Yeah. I the guy looks like, I just call him like an older Jack Black, but anyway, he looks like him. Yeah, but, you know what I mean?
Jack Black vibes.
Yeah, he's like an old Jack Black. But anyways, that game was a masterpiece. Other than that, they have released consistent mediocrity, and that is what it's all about. We could talk about this, brother, to blue in the face. We could talk about how this one's good, this guy's this one's Phil said this guy said that. It doesn't matter. If your number one priority is to release a video fucking game, and if you can't release a video game that is good and people want to go back and engage with, then you have failed. How do you fail with Halo? A Halo is a surefire hit. Even Halo 5, everybody's like, Halo 5 wasn't very good. It still sold like 7 million copies.
Yeah.
On a console nobody was buying.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, are you out of your mind? It wasn't even and now you can't even get Halo people to play it after the first week. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, after the first week, and then they were going to release a free to play. Nobody played it at free to play, and then a year later they're like, well, we're going to give you 2 new maps. Thank God in heaven, you gave us 2 maps in 12 months. Holy Moses, please, someone save me from all the content. I can't keep up. Like, are you out of your mind? But anyways, the consistent mediocrity is their number one problem and will continue to be their problem unless they can do it on a consistent basis. Quality. You can't release 1 great game and then 3 shit games. You cannot do this. The only way you can change the narrative is, and this is sorry, I know this is a really long answer, but it actually is. I'm answering your question here as to what happened.
Yeah.
What happened is
you're good.
What happened in all those generations from the Xbox all the way to the series is that the quality has consistently decreased. And in order to change that around, you can't just release 1 game or 2 games. You can't even win Game of the Year. Winning Game of the Year will not change the narrative. You have to consistently do it for 2 or 3 years straight.
Yeah.
And that's when everybody's going to say they've got pedigree over there. That's why perception. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's the only way you could change the perception is through consistency. What happens at PlayStation is that they've released decades of consistency. Yeah. And when you have decades of consistency, why? Because they have that Nintendo seal of approval. They're not going to release the game. You saw what What's-His-Face did when he went to go see God of War? You remember that documentary?
Yeah.
You know, he went there and he goes, what the fuck is this garbage? You know what I mean? And he said, like, he fucking called it right out. He's like, no, I'll make it again.
Yes.
He goes, go make it. I don't give a shit that he's crying. He's like, oh, he made me make it again. Okay, go make it a better game.
Make it fucking again. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about...
Go get some tissues, wipe your face. You know what I mean?
Snot bubbles. Yeah.
Yeah. Blow a couple snot bubbles. Put a cold rag on your forehead. Get your ass up and start over again. And then what did he do? He made it a fantastic game because they pushed him.
Exactly.
Right? Because Sony's not going to put their name on a shit product. I mean, okay, fine. Concord came out, but we're not talking about that. But anyways, hey, you know what? In all seriousness, I did hear the game still plays pretty damn good, even though it's not really great.
Look, man, and we don't cap here, okay? You know, I'm a PlayStation enthusiast as well, but I'm not going to.
Oh, that's funny. Sorry, the chat beat me to it, brother. I look over and I see Ron Slusher talking about Concord, and I was like, sorry, I didn't see the chat because
I'm not. Look, okay, PlayStation fans, you better just focus on Black Myth Wukong and it being an incidental exclusive.
Exclusive, yeah, man.
Do not bring up Concord. you don't get any points talking about Concord. Shitcord. Okay.
Hate those other W's though. But anyway, the point is in all seriousness, is that's where Xbox lost their way.
Yeah.
They lost their way because they lost their consistency, and the messaging is terrible.
Yeah.
They do not know how to speak. The left hand, as most corporations, the left hand has no idea what the right hand is doing. Mm-hmm. And as a result, they are just like the blind leading the blind. And then some of them, they try to cater to the crowd. And actually, the funny thing is, isn't it funny that as soon as Microsoft took over, when you got Satya and Amy Hood took over, who don't give a fuck about the Xbox community or anybody else, notice how they're no longer catering to the people? Because you know how they're trying too much to listen to people. Oh, well, we're gonna do this now. Oh, we're gonna do this now. Then the community's like, no, and they're like, okay, fine. Well, we're gonna do this now. When you do that, you lose your way, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to please too many people at the same time, and it's never going to happen. What you have to do is release a great product, put it out there, and whoever's riding with you will show up.
You got to lead.
You know what I mean?
You got to lead.
Exactly. And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was all I was going to
say. That's a great segue into what I wanted to ask you and pick your brain about before we get into who MAGG the gamer is,
all right.
From a legacy standpoint. So, you're familiar with business. I'm familiar with business. We talked about that before we went live, and there's an industry term. You've probably sat there 1,000 times like I have. Somebody brought up an idea. The boss has said it was great. So you guys start writing on a white chalkboard, and the idea is in flight. We're all, hey, everybody, we're going to do this thing. We're all going to do this thing that Jacob said, and here goes the plans to how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's in flight, right? And then it's everybody's job to make sure that the thing goes from the in-flight phase and it lands and it goes into a good rollout phase. And I kind of feel like that with Microsoft, something is in flight phase, and then there is no adequate rollout phase. It's like, this is such a great idea and everybody's gonna love it, and there's just this belief, there's really like this, I hate to say it, this remedial belief system that just because we're excited about this, thinking about this in our head, it's going to be great, right? And to me, that's a failure in leadership, in my opinion, and that's where I see where Xbox fell apart. I feel like that we had two situations. We have a guy that doesn't give a shit about gaming, like Satya Nadella. He doesn't know gaming culture. He's not like Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates, who were unfamiliar at first, but then got to a point to where they were advising Ken Levine on BioShock and shit like that, right? He doesn't care about anything outside of Minecraft and Civilization, from what I understand. And secondly, then you have Phil Spencer, who I think is really, really, really big on gaming. He loves gaming. He loves the idea of gaming. I just don't think that, like how you mentioned in the God of War documentary, he can manage great output. That's how I see it as how we got here, particularly starting with the Xbox One generation. If you had to point out some specific things or people that you felt like maybe led to this situation, or some moves, what would you specifically point out?
What led to this?
Yeah, like, yeah. Do you think it's a leadership problem, or what would
yeah,
you,
no,
if you do think it's a leadership problem, who's responsible?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Oh man, that's a hard question. No, it's a great question. It's just I'm trying to rope in all the ideas and try to come up with something cohesive. I think it's a combination. It's almost like a gumbo of like a bunch of different things that got us to this situation. absolutely leadership. I think what ended up happening is when you lose focus as a leader, and you don't have the same goal in mind at all times, that the people following you, let's face it, okay, George Carlin said this years ago, okay, he said very few winners, whole lot of losers when he was describing the people of the world. And I don't mean that like in a bad way, like, but what he was talking about is that when you were a leader, you have to have that one unwavering goal as to what your purpose and what you're doing and everything, and people will follow that. If you show any holes in that, then people will not follow you because they don't know what you're doing. And if you don't know, and if you come across that you don't know what you're doing, they will not do it. The teams working for you won't do it. The studios working for you won't do it. If you come out there and you say, if Phil Spencer comes out there 9 years ago, whatever, right? And he says to them, we're going to be the best gaming platform on the planet. In order to do that, we have to release 10 out of 10 games, Game of the Year nominees every single year, this and that. We need games on a consistent basis, not 7 years for a fucking game, okay? While you're taking pictures of your Niçoise salad of the cafe you're at instead of working, and you wonder why AI is going to take over. Oh, you just wait and see, brother. You just wait and see. 70% of all those redundant jobs are fucking gone. Are gone. 5 years, they're all gone. These people are going to be unemployed. Anyways, the point is you can't be that. You cannot do that. You have to be, and when he has to say, you don't have to be an asshole. I know I'm kind of sound like an asshole, but I'm saying you don't have to be an asshole about it. You can be a nice person about it. Be saying, this is our goal. Our goal is to be the best on the planet, and in order to do that, and then you know what you do? You start having competitions, bonuses for whoever sells the most games, whoever has the highest NPDs, whoever has the highest Metacritic scores. What do you think Sony does? Sony does exactly that. That they have benefit. That you get the benefits for having a higher. If you get a certain Metacritic score and above or whatever, everybody gets a 5% bonus. Isn't that? It's a lot of money, dude. It's a lot of money, and people will do it. But what else happens? In-house competition. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna do the big Game of the Year? Bullshit. We're releasing Game of the Year this year, and we're doing it, and this and that, whatever. You have healthy competition within each other, and you start to build that. It starts from the top. Okay, I work with a lot of West Indies people, okay, and one of the things that one of the ladies says to me all the time, she goes, the fish stinks from the head. You know what I'm saying? When she's talking about leadership or whatever else, and that's a real, at least for her, she said it's a West Indies saying. I'm gonna have some Jamaicans out there going, no, that's what we say, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, she says it. The fish stinks from the head. Okay, and then that's what it all boils down to at the end of the day. It all comes down to that leadership. But then what happens is, they're doing that. They're not showing enough consistency and enough strength in the leadership and the direction in which they're going. And then what happens is, then you've got the people on top of you start meddling. And that's typical for a corporation. What corporations tend to do is over micromanage and tend to meddle because they think that they know best and this and that. And everybody thinks they know better than everybody else. And then the other problem is, then you got too many investors. Then investors start talking. Well, why are, Sony's doing this? Why are you guys doing that? Nintendo's doing this. Why are you guys doing that? And then they start tap dancing for the investors. And then there's too many. There's too many. Fingers in the pie. Okay. And there's too many. Yeah, there's too many interests. And what happens is, the direction becomes convoluted, and therefore it reflects in the final product. And that is another thing that we're seeing. We're not seeing that strong front of, this is who we are. This is what we do. This is what we offer, and it's top notch. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else. People will not go somewhere else if your product is top notch. You know what I'm saying? So you can talk shit all you want to them and say, yeah, go somewhere else. You can call their bluff. People will. We're not for you. We're not for you. But you know what, though? People will, you can always call a person's bluff if you have quality. They will come to you no matter what you say. And so, that's what they don't have. It's this convolution of leadership, lack of focus, and lack of direction. That's what it all is boiled down to. And that's what's been happening in the last 10 years. But those two first generations, they had all those things in spades, and they did incredibly well. And the last two, you can say, I know, I see people now, oh, well, Microsoft's making all this money and this and that. Oh, they're doing this and that. Oh, they got 300 million, active users. And that. Yeah, okay, 280 million of them are Candy Crush. Get the fuck out of here with that, with those ABK numbers. But yeah. And so, but the thing is, at the end of the day, it's like, that's fine. If that's where their business is going to go, that's great. Mm-hmm. That's great. Go ahead and go do that. And you're always going to have those people, the Call of Duty people, the Candy Crush people, all those, the World of Warcraft people. They're all going to be there. They're all going to still doing it, and and Microsoft is going to continue to make billions and billions of dollars in gaming. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for the more, like for the other, a lot of gamers are going to walk away from it, and they're going to casually, or at least occasionally, dip their toes into the Xbox pool here and there if they've got something worth it. But in order to turn heads, like I said before, you need years of consistency, and so far they have proven to me that they cannot do it. And like I said, to answer your question, it's the convoluted message, and it starts from the top.
I mean, yeah, I can't really disagree with any of that. Again, you have the experience too, so you know, we were just joking before about how we may even chastise our superiors. This is just in our DNA. So we kind of understand what makes great leadership and what doesn't make great leadership. But that's great insight and great perspective as far as what happened. Let's do this. Let's change gears.
I've got a question.
Oh,
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Magg.
Yeah, man.
Did Arkin Austin get a bonus for their Metacritic score that they got for Redfall?
You see, that's when Cold Blood says this shit when I'm like making dinner and I'm listening to the show, and he just pipes in like once every 45 minutes and he says something. I'm always in the middle like trying the rice or something, and I spit it out because he always makes me laugh. Yeah, you know what they should do? They should actually charge the people that made it and start siphoning money off of their paychecks shit. And then giving it back. Yeah, and they could start paying off ABK with it. Yeah, they can start paying off ABK and Bethesda. RPG88, what's up, dude? Sorry, he said hi to me in the chat. RPG88, what's up? Yeah, so it's at the end of the day, like I said, they're the only people responsible for it are the people who are running the show, because at the end of the day, the people that work for you, they can do things, obviously, and they can run their companies and they can run their studios and this and that, whatever. But if you do not have a direction for them to run to, it's very hard to do so, But yes, Cold Blood, they should start taking 10% off all their paychecks and start putting it back so they can pay Satya back his Bethesda money that he paid.
His cherished bonus that he missed that year.
Yeah, exactly.
The Game Pass bonus.
Yeah. So you guys still owe me $6.91 billion now.
Yeah. No, great. Yeah, I love when Cold Blood just pops out of nowhere with those questions.
Bro, I'm working right now. I can't talk to you much. Sorry.
I know. No, actually, no. Shout out to Cold Blood, because he's working night shift where he's at. He's getting like 35 minutes of sleep with all the long talking that I'm doing. So no, please give a round of applause to Cold Blood. He's really hit that like button for Cold Blood, please. Let's do this. Let's get to Magg the Gamer. What got Magg so fiery about this because of the previous expectations? Like I was explaining to Cold Blood, who couldn't really relate to us in our epiphany for the 360. Like, there are certain gaming habits that led us here. You know what I'm saying? I always broke down and talk in ad nauseum about mine. But how did you get into gaming? What got you from into gaming all the way up to when you got to the 360? What was that journey like?
The very first game I ever played was 1979. 1979. This year, actually, this month will mark 45 years that I've been gaming. Yeah, and so I know. You're not that far behind, but it's 1979. I went to my aunt and uncle's house, my dad's sister. And, they were upstairs doing whatever they were doing and talking, whatever. And my uncle had a wood panel Pong console in the basement.
Okay.
And it was sitting on the floor, with the little knobs and whatever else, right? And I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah.
And we sat down. He turned it on for us. And my brother and I sat there. I was 4 years old. My brother was 3. And we sat there playing Pong all night. It got to the point that when we were leaving, I'll never forget this. And then I remember my parents were trying to drag us out of the house to go home, right? And like they had to like pull us. Yeah, they had to like pull us like we were nailed to the floor, and because we would not leave. And every time we went to their house, we would run downstairs and play Pong, and we played Pong for hours and hours and hours. And my parents loved it because they were upstairs, doing whatever the hell they're doing in the 70s, probably doing cocaine and listening to disco. I don't know what the fuck they were up to up there. Of course they're like, oh, we never did anything in the 70s. I'm like, yeah, okay. How do you think I was born? Anyways, so they were doing whatever the hell they're doing upstairs, and I'm downstairs playing Pong with my brother, and we would do it for hours. They had 3 games on it: handball, hockey, and tennis. Right? That was it. Yeah. And we played it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And then we went to New York. And my dad's side of the family's from the Bronx.
Okay.
So we would go visit them once in a while. Like if we had like a wedding or we had something going on, we would always stay at their house for like 3-4 days, 5 days, sometimes a week, whatever, right? And as Italians, that's always what Italians did. In those days, Italians didn't go to hotels. Like now, we go to hotels. I ain't staying in nobody's fucking house. Right? I'm staying in a hotel, whatever else. My parents do the same thing. My dad's like, I'm not staying in a fucking house. I'm going to a hotel, right? But in the old days, when nobody had any money, we stayed at everybody's house. That was the way it is. You had 20 people in that house. You know what I mean? And then they were there for like 4 or 5 days, and you always had the old 80-year-old Nonna would cook for everybody all day and night, whatever. And my cousin there, Joey, had an Atari 2600. This is a couple of years later, right? And I'm like, what is that? Right? Got the joystick with the red button. You remember the one? And so, I'm sitting there like, what is that thing? And what did it have on it? Stuff that I've seen on TV. It had Pac-Man, elevator action, Pitfall. You know what I mean? Tanks. There was a game called Tanks. That was all it was called, just Tanks. Yeah, or whatever. Tank War or whatever the fuck it was called. Frogger. And I'm sitting there like, yo, you're playing all this at home? Mm-hmm. Like, how are you playing this at home? Like, that's the stuff you had to go to the arcade. And we were like 5 or 6. My mother would never let us go to the arcade. Like, no, we're just going home. And we beg for quarters. I want to go in there. And we were playing all those games that we would see at the arcade. Asteroids, there's another one, whatever, right? Yeah. And I started playing Atari, and you couldn't tear me off that fucking thing for the entire 5-6 days that we were down there. Completely obsessed with it, right? We were playing it day and night, day and night, day and night. And then we came back home, whatever, depressed. And then, of course, we get back to Toronto here. And then, there's an arcade. I'll never forget it. And actually, the funny thing is, my arcade in my basement, I named it after that arcade in the mall near my house. It was called Wizard's Castle. Yeah. Right? And that was the name of the arcade. Because remember in those days, the arcades always had to have a cool ass medieval name, right? Yeah. It's like, like the dungeon or something, whatever, right? And this place...
Ours, we're kind of lame here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ours was just called Aces.
Aces? It's nonsense. Aces. Yeah, we had to have cool ass names like, like the dungeon or, whatever. But this place was called Wizard's Castle. Mm-hmm. And actually, I named my arcade in the basement, and I'm getting a sign made. It's actually called. I have 1, 2. What I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 neon signs already in the arcade down here. But I'm going to get one that says Wizard's Castle because I designed this place after Wizard's Castle. So when my mom used to go shopping and have to do what she had to do, because in those days they had a grocery store in the mall, right? So it was always at the end of the mall. There was always a grocery store. So you did all your other stuff, whatever, and then she would go to a grocery shop. Well, we would beg her and bust her chops until she gave us at least $3 or $4 in or whatever, even in dollar bills or whatever, and then say, go, just go. And my brother and I would run full tilt to that arcade. And we would, put in our quarters, we'd play all the games, whatever else. And, it was always Miss Pac-Man and Dragon's Lair and all those other games. And, Dig Dug and Miss Pac-Man was the big one for me. That was the big one. Anyway, we played all those games, whatever, and we fell in love. And I fell in love more so than my brother did, but I was totally obsessed. And then the magic happened. And actually, by the way, fast forward to today, what do I have in my arcade basement down here? I have a 1982 Miss Pac-Man.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Those cabinets are. It's an authentic 82 one.
Yeah. So I got that. Yeah. I got a remake though. The other one.
Fucking Doberman picture and a rocket launcher around that thing, man. That's.
Well, I have other ones. The other ones are actually like a lot of them are like, you know how they remake things over the years or whatever else, and they also have arcade one-ups and all that kind of stuff. And the other one, I've got like all the games covered. I got Dig Dug, Miss Pac-Man. I've got Dragon's Lair. The Dragon's Lair cabinet has 3 games on it. You know, stuff like that. I got all the Mortal Kombats. I've got Street Fighter 2. You know, all this kind of stuff, all the Capcom games. Anyways, so I got and then of course Buck Hunter, which was later on in life, in the early aughts, whatever. But anyways, the point is, then one day, my brother's birthday, a Nintendo came to the house, an NES, and that changed everything. We were day and night playing that. My brother and I would stay up till 4:00 in the morning while my parents are sleeping. They had no idea we were in the basement, and we would be playing Double Dribble, and we would be playing Contra. And Mario Brothers and Mario Brothers 2 and 3 and whatever. I got so good I could finish Mario Brothers 2 in 20 minutes because I knew all the little, you know, the ins and outs, all the warps, the everything, and get to the final frog boss or whatever and all this stuff. You know, we did all that. Then we went into then my neighbor got the Super Nintendo and we were playing that. So we go to his house and play that, and he would call me and he'd be like, "Let's go." He just yell at me, call me. He even got a 3DO in those days. We were playing that. Now we're going into the 90s.
Yeah.
But then something interesting happened. The arcades resurged. And then when the arcades resurged because of Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter 2. And then when that boom happened, holy shit, there were no house consoles. Nobody played house consoles anymore. We were all at the local variety store, you know, convenience store, and we were playing Street Fighter 2 with all the Chinese kids all night because they would teach us. Because, you know, in China they had the machines and they had the machines a year before we did.
Oh yeah.
So they knew all the moves, they knew everything. So we'd hang out with all the Chinese kids and they'd show us all the cool shit, right? And they'd be like, "Oh, do this move, do this move." I'm like, "Oh, how do you guys know all this stuff?" And they're like, "We used to play this back home." Because we have a huge amount of Chinese immigrants came in the 90s, and they were playing all those games back home. So we would learn from the Chinese, right? So they're teaching us all this cool shit. It's like the cruel tutelage of Pai Mei from like Kill Bill 2. It's like they were showing us all the moves, and then Mortal Kombat came out. And then that changed everything too. And that was an American game. That wasn't a Japanese game, you know. And then we got into that, and then PlayStation 1 came out. And I don't think I ever felt the urge to step into arcade ever again because PlayStation 1 basically really, for the first time ever, even though they always advertise it with every console that ever came out, PlayStation 1 was the arcade. You know, and then when they said, why go to an arcade when you can have a PlayStation in your house? And first of all, I love the name PlayStation. It just sounds so cool. And I remember reading about it in those video game magazines they used to sell? And they used to sell like a disc. They used to sell a disc with like all the demos on it and shit. Yeah. And I remember seeing screenshots of Resident Evil 1 and Tomb Raider and going, "What is this?" And then once I got it, you barely ever saw my ass in an arcade ever again. Because then I just fell in love. And then it became PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. I skipped Xbox. And then I went 360. And then 360 did what I did. We talked about that. Yep. I did the PS3. We talked about that. Then I went to Xbox One. I played that for 5 years. Then I got the PS4.
Okay.
What a mistake. Yeah. I should have got it way before, but whatever.
Yeah, same here. No, you sound just like me. Because when did Xbox One came? Yeah, 2018.
2013, and then PS4 was 2018.
And then 5 years on Xbox, and then God of War did it for me, brother. God of War, because you probably heard me, or you probably were watching the channel. I don't know if you remember when I tried to do that gimmick. Do you guys have Aaron's and Rent-A-Center up in Canada? Do you guys have them up there?
Have what? Sorry?
Aaron's or Rent-A-Center up in Canada. Or
no.
Tomorrow. Okay, there's you guys might have something like this up there where you can rent electronics and shit. You pay about
no, of course we do. No, of course we do. They're just called different things.
Yeah. So I went to Aaron's because Aaron's was the new one. Rent-A-Center used to be, but Aaron's was like the new one when God of War came out. And I was going to be my content. That was going to be my attempt to be MAGG. Like I was going to make fun of the ponies, right? And I was going to say, all you need is a GameFly subscription in 5 days for a PlayStation game. And I was like, you don't even need to own a PlayStation. So my thing was I was going to rent a PlayStation 4 for a week. And to rent it for a week was like $24 or something like that. I was going to go to GameFly, get God of War 2018, and I was going to beat it in 4 days and send everything back and be done with PlayStation. bruh, I ended up having that fucking PlayStation for like 4 months.
Yeah.
I had it for a long, and then when I did the math, I'm like, hold up. I paid like $500 for this PlayStation. I better go like take this back to Aaron's and actually buy a PlayStation. And then that changed everything. I went straight from that to fucking, I think Last of Us 2, I believe.
Yep.
And then fucking, then Ghost of Tsushima. And then I was, and then I tried Days Gone. I'm like, whoa. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, what the fuck is going, like, oh, holy cow. And
Yep, that's how it all went down too. Same with me. I was Xbox One and defending it to the death, and then 2018 happened, and then I was just like, oh shit, what is this? And that started the wheels. But you know what though? Still, even in 2019, I still bought an Xbox One X. Remember that thing?
Yeah,
Waste of fucking
I was
time.
there at launch. Oh yeah.
What a waste of fucking time that was. I bought this console for nothing. Nothing came out. And then they're like, oh, by the way, next year there's a next generation console. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Damn.
And so I traded that thing in. I got the Series X. I got multiple Series X's and S's. And I was all ready to go in that new generation because they were selling me on the same bullshit they were selling for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And like an idiot and like a stupid catfish, I took the bait yet again. And I bought all that stuff. I was ready to go.
Mag, I again, and it's not because I went through the same thing. I think you should be a little bit easier on yourself, only because fucking 360 was cathartic. Like it like.
No, I understand, but we went through an entire other generation. What we should have seen it a little earlier. I mean, 7 years.
Yeah.
Of Xbox One, like I think at that point I should have realized the pattern, but here I am thinking, no man, it's different. This time it's going to be different. They're going to go back to that 360 vibe. I can feel it. That's exact. And you remember how many people were saying that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On the podcast, on the shows, on Twitter, everybody was like, "Oh, this is going to be the return to form." Yeah. This is the return to form. The series consoles are going to be the return to form. And it almost felt like it when Phil went out there on the stage at the 2019 Game Awards and he shocked the living shit out of everybody with the reveal of that and the reveal of Hellblade 2. And even Sony was panicking.
Yeah.
And Sony was like, what the fuck just happened? They were freaking out and they started to panic and they didn't know, you know what I mean? And all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, goddamn, here we go. Here we go. Phil started doing sit-ups. He started doing some chin-ups. He's ready. He's battle ready. Here we go. And then we got 2 years of dick fuck all. Excuse my language. And now we're going into year 4 of fuck all. And now I'm like, you're done. I am never falling for your bullshit again. I am keeping the Series S for my daughter because she plays Fortnite on it with my with my son and her friends and shit, right? She don't play nothing else on it. She farts around with like Goat Simulator once in a while because she thinks it's funny or whatever, and that's about it. And she has access to my game library from Xbox, so she can play whatever she wants. I'm keeping the One Series X down here. I don't play it, but it's there. Because you never know, right? Like, I'd be like, okay, there's one experience. I'll give it a whirl.
Exactly.
Okay? Like Indiana Jones. Like, Indiana Jones is going to come out in December. Okay, it's coming out for PlayStation, but I'll give it a whirl, and I'll know within an hour whether it's quality or not. All right? And so I'll know. And, I'll play it. I'll be like, all right, it's great. I'll continue to play it and whatever else, and we'll see how it goes. But other than that, next generation, I'm not buying another Xbox console ever again. The fact that it is now 4 years in, going on to 5 years, and you could still use your Xbox One, why would I buy it? Why would I buy another console? I could use my Series X all the way into the next generation. There's no point.
And what I think they're going to do, Mag, is they're going to open the console up for streaming and to be.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So yeah,
next.
so you don't need to invest it. Like you have the hardware.
Yep. Well, that's exactly it. So that's the other thing. I'm like, why would I give him another penny?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
That console can sit there till Kingdom Come. So it could be another 2 years of that thing sitting there, and then it's still good for another let's say theoretically about 4 years after that. So you're talking 6 years. In 6 years' time, their cloud streaming technology is going to be better than it is now. I know everybody's like, "Oh, it's cloud, it's coming." And like, well, we've been hearing cloud for 10 years, except for Stadia, but we're not gonna get into Stadia today. But but it's still the Yeah, I'm just gonna say the point is that it's still there. I'll be able to stream on that box eventually.
Yeah.
So there's no point. I'm not gonna pay another dime to them for that because I fell for this shit too many times. And I fucking forget it. And again, I would rather not subscribe to Game Pass and buy the one quality game a year.
Yeah.
Than be subscribed for month after month. Let me pay. Okay, we're gonna do this right now. We're gonna do this right now, right? Okay, we're gonna do this right now, and we're gonna do this in American dollars.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this in American dollars for our audience. Okay.
Yep.
January, February, March, April of this year, $80. Okay.
Yeah.
Then May came along and you got Hellblade 2. That's another $20. You just paid $100 for Hellblade 2.
Which retails
now
what,
we're gonna
$50,
go.
right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you could buy it for $49.99 or whatever the hell it is.
Exactly.
And then now we've got June, July, August of sweet fuck all. You've got September with nothing because Shattered Space DLC is a paid DLC, which is going to be about $30 US.
Yep.
So that's nothing. Now we're into October. Now you paid $150 for Hellblade 2 and Call of Duty. Okay?
Yeah.
When you could have bought Hellblade 2 for $50. So you got 150 minus 50. And then you've got minus 70 for Call of Duty. You could have saved $30 just for buying the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Okay? And now we're going to get into November and December, another $40. You're back up to $70, which is now for Indiana Jones, assuming that it's even a game that's worth $70.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. People are making the assumptions that these games are going to be good.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee with Microsoft because they have not proved it. So now you have essentially, now like I said, now we get into December, you have now paid $740, $190 you could have bought the games for, but you paid $245 for Game Pass. So you actually could have, you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
so there's
exactly.
no savings there. There is zero savings there. Zero. And I know people say, well, the online's there. Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of a point, but I mean, you can also get that in blocks a lot cheaper or whatever else.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you play on PC. You don't have to do any of that either.
Yeah,
If you're on
don't do none
PC
of
or
that
anything
shit.
else,
Yeah,
I would rather just, So to me, there really is no savings in the end. So, that's where I stand on this. So
here's my suggestion thing too. Like we were just talking about cloud gaming. My suggestion, bro, is like, I don't know if you had, and if I can get some codes, like I've been telling people, if I can get some codes, I'm gonna hook you up, bro. GeForce Now Ultimate is the best way to play your Xbox games, period. Like it is.
You've mentioned this before, yes.
Yeah, like if you can, if I can get you a code for Ultimate, like if they become available, and that's why I say people, you don't need to buy the next hardware. Really, even for your current Xbox games, my suggestion is, if you can buy a game outside of the Xbox library, don't buy it natively on Xbox. Get it for PC, right? And enjoy it on GeForce. Most likely it's coming to GeForce Now. And the rarity that it's not on GeForce Now, okay, I get it. But if you can get it on Steam and it's available on GeForce Now, your best bet is to fucking get because it's going to play better. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have better frames. It's going to have better textures. You know what I'm saying? I'm not quite sure if they can hit 4K on the Xbox, but at least it's 14. I think it's at least it's 1440p. But you know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing Wukong right now, fucking like 100 frames per second in 4K. You know what I'm saying? With ray tracing on and shit. Like it's crazy, bro. So yeah, that's probably a lot of people's best bet is just to infuse their Xbox, the actual box experience, Series X that is, with getting GeForce.
Yeah. So like there are options there which is fine for Microsoft, because Microsoft doesn't give a shit, because they're gonna take my money, and I'm actually okay with giving them like the money. I'll be like, listen, man, I'll just buy your one game. Yeah. But like, what am I subscribing for? Like you're not doing it for me in every other aspect. If there's one game I get, I'll just buy it. I'll just buy the game, and you're still going to get my money. They're still going to be happy about it and whatever. But they have, like I said, once again, for anything like any kind of subscription service, they have not proved over and over and over again. And by the way, and also paying another $700 to $800 for a console, they have not proved to me that they're worth that. So I don't want to do. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go out and buy it. I'm not going to go pay that money for something that I don't feel they've earned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've not earned another $700 to $800 console out of me. They have not earned a $240 American, by the way, because it's like $350, $360 Canadian for Game Pass, because it's $26 up here, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Plus tax. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. You know what I mean? So like that's what you know what I mean? They have not earned that from me.
Yeah.
So, you know, and therefore you're not going to get it. So you have to prove to me, and then I will give you a pittance of money depending on whether I feel it's worth it, because then if one experience is great, there's no guarantee that the next experience and the next experience and the next experience are great. There's no guarantees whatsoever. You know what I mean? And that's why they've lost my trust, and they have lost my consistency in financial support.
Yeah. I can't follow that up with anything, but yep, because it's so true. It's just, I wish that, I feel sorry for some, not you, Mag, because I do feel sorry for you. I meant it in reverse. I don't feel sorry for some of those that, unlike you, who saw the writing on the wall or saw the shit, at least when it was totally undeniable, who said, look, man, I'm not gonna sit there and make excuses for this shit. Yeah, I hope things get better, but again, the writing's on the wall, know what to do. For those that just wanted to ignore reality and continue to be the bullheaded, I don't feel sorry for them. But even though all you were trying to do, like I guess we can sum it up with these last few questions, unless Cold Blood has anything else. And then I know there's some stuff that you want to add too, that you need to plug, right? But final question A is, you know, without naming names.
Yep.
Something that I noticed.
Colt Eastwood. Sorry. I don't even know what the question's gonna be. Sorry.
Shout out to Colt.
Yep.
I noticed with the PlayStation community, like with Concord is a perfect example. Me and Cold Blood have fought bloody death wars on this channel because of our disdain for Concord, and we've been going back and forth with it. Like, we still do it. Like, it's still a sore spot. Like, 3% of our audience will show up and we don't give a fuck. We're going to kick Concord's ribs in. We're going to kick in the whole shit with Horizon and on Nintendo or whatever the case. We're going to sit there and talk shit on Herman Holst and Hiroki Totoki about some of their decisions. But yet we still walk away and we're not called ponybots. We're not called traitors or whatever. We're not called this, unless it's true version. We're not called names. How does it feel, like, with all the stuff that you've done within the Xbox community, all of the support that you gave it, all of the I don't want to say cheerleading, but all of the enthusiasm that you tried to cascade, and it wasn't you that changed. It was Xbox that changed, and all you're doing is just reflecting the change that Xbox made, and you're communicating how you feel about that. How does it make you feel that instead of engaging in a dialogue where people just simply don't agree with you or look at it differently, you are marked a traitor by people that loved you a blink of an eye ago?
Yes, betrayed. I feel betrayed by Microsoft. I feel betrayed by Xbox brass, who came out and tried to put out fires that I started. And I started. I was one of the first. I did it on, I can't remember what show I did it on. And there weren't a lot of people watching, but someone important happened to go by that show. And then I started getting quoted from IGN. I got Tom Warren knocking on my door. Not physically, but, I got Tom Warren calling me, talking to me. I got Destin Legary on the line. We talk here and there and this and that, right? And then Paris shows up in our chat all the time, whatever. And all these bigger names started showing up. And what ends up happening, and then Microsoft Brass comes out and does that fucking apology tour and then made us all look like fools. And I'm like, guys, don't you see what they're doing? And then when they're like, what about Indiana Jones? Remember that quote?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Indiana Jones is not one of the 4 games. I'm like, are you guys that fucking stupid? He said one of the 4 games. He did not say it's never. Like, are you guys blind? And so, but they turned on me. The Microsoft Brass turned on us. and they tried to quell a fire that they knew was going to burn anyway, and they made us look like fools. So fuck them. Because I understand their own self-interest. I understand that. I mean, that's fine. But you didn't have the balls to go out there and say, hey, listen, this is our strategy moving forward, until you're doing it slowly and slowly and slowly. But at the same time, everything that we said is coming true. And then on top of that, what ended up happening is the fans turned on us instead of focusing on who's doing this. Not us. I'm not doing this. And that's where I felt betrayed by a lot of them. And I said, man, go fuck yourself. Go unfollow me. Get the fuck out of my my chat, my DMs, this and that. And I go, if you don't, I'm just going to block you. And in the last 7 months, I have blocked tens of thousands of people. No joke. Every day I spend about 10 minutes blocking people. And I've never blocked anybody for the 4 years before that I was on social media on YouTube. I never blocked a single soul. And I've even had arguments with King Thrash on Crossfire. He probably doesn't even remember. But I had a scrap with him on Crossfire back in the day, and a couple of other guys. I never got in an argument with J-Dub. Red Dragon, he's a scumbag though. But Red Dragon, who is a scumbag, I got in a fight with him a few times. He's an asshole, and I blocked him. I eventually blocked him, but I never blocked Thrash or any of those other guys. We all had our thoughts and opinions, and we move on from it, saying, all right, you like this, I like that, we don't agree, cool, whatever. I'll see you on the next show, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But these guys, I had to start blocking them because they were getting completely irrational, completely out of control. They're acting like they're sending me these like DMs that are like an entire storybook, and I'm like, guys, they don't know who you are, right? They don't give a shit who you are. Like, this is not if this is your entire persona, you should probably seek some mental help. You should probably go talk to somebody, because if this is bothering you to the point that you want to hurt me physically or yourself or whatever, and trust me, I've seen a lot of shit. You need some help. Like, I mean, I understand you want to be part of a community. That's great. Be a part of a community, whatever. But remember, like, guys, and that's where I have a problem with it. And like I said, a lot of those people, some of them are really, really, really fucked up, and that's fine. And then the rest of them, I just felt like betrayed by it at first. And then I'm just like, nah, you know what? Who gives a shit? Because I'm having a great old time. And guess what? I'm on YouTube. You're not. And I keep telling them, like, you got something to say? I go grab a motherfucking microphone, and you can come join me, and you can talk to me, and then we can see what's up. And then they all disappear, and then they all just go back into their holes. And so I don't care. I don't care anymore. And that leads me to my next thing, where I'm going to be launching. I'm still doing XNC, by the way. That's the funny thing. A lot of people are like, why are you still doing XNC if you're not? And I'm like, do you not understand? I have thousands and thousands of people on Xbox that follow me, that I talk to and engage with. I know a lot of people that work there, and I still talk to them. I have a lot of ties in with the company. I know people who work in the studios, and I know regional managers and people who, I won't say more than that. But either way, I got all these people that, they feed me all kinds of information. We talk and whatever else, and I'm still a great big part of the community. And of course, I do the show because I still know what they're doing. I know what Microsoft is up to, and I know what they're doing. Of course, I could talk about their games. And I'm still playing their games. They just suck, that's all. But you know what I mean? But I'm still playing their games. So I'm still there. And like Colt and I are going to do a review of Indiana Jones the week after it comes out. I gave Starfield a 4 out of 10 on XNC. I said I said the game was fucking awful and whatever. His face was hilarious because he's like, I put in 300 hours into it. I'm like, good for you, Colt. I'm like, I'm glad you wasted 300 hours. I played 3 and I turned that shit off. And, so that's the way I feel. And that's the way I'm going to continue to do. So that's why that's why I'm still there, is because now we have this opposing views and people are enjoying it. Actually, and the funny thing is, I got PlayStation fans, I got Xbox fans, whatever, but a lot of those Xbox guys stayed because they're like, we don't give a shit that you don't like the games. We just like what you say. So that they're there for the entertainment. They're there that they appreciate what I'm talking about or what I feel or this and that, whatever. And that's where I'm going to launch my own show. I'm going to be in the fall sometime, probably October, because things are so crazy. I'm launching a show called the MAGG Show, and that's going to be like the name of the show, the channel, the MAGG Show, And I'm just going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing everything, just talking. I'm not doing a podcast right away. It's going to be doing, just like things where I'm talking about, the latest news and this and that. I'm going to get into reviews. I'm even going to do MAGG at the movies. You know what I mean? I'm going to do MAGG. I'm going to do the MAGG show. I'm going to be doing the, TV shows. I'm going to be reviewing the, Rings of Power. Probably laughing at it. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to be reviewing Last of Us Season 2, which is wrapped filming, and they're just doing post-production right now. Yeah. I got a lot of people in Hollywood that I talk to, and a lot of stuff going on over there. By the way, I know what RDJ is doing as Dr. Doom. Everybody was like, well, how the fuck is he back? And I'm like, oh, I found out how. But anyways, the script is done for that, for Avengers and everything else. And so I know all that stuff that's going on. And then pre-production started on God of War for Amazon and all these other things. I'm going to talk about all that stuff. And like I said, I got all those connections out there. Of course I'm going to talk about all that stuff. So I'm doing my own thing. So I'm going to speak my own truth, and I'm going to continue doing that. So I've evolved from offended, upset, betrayed, and now, you know what? This is where I'm going. If you want to ride with me, the door's open. Just get in or don't. You can stay there. You can stay there and just do whatever. Fine. I said, but I will not be part of the echo chamber circle jerk, and I'm not going to fall. I'm going to do my own thing, and whatever. And I'm still going to be there with XNC, and I'm still going to do that show too. And and Colt and I are going to battle each other every single week. Yeah. Where I make him uncomfortable, because I tell him the truth.
Show's better for it.
And that's why a lot of people tune in, because they're like, you know what? It's better than having two guys blowing each other for 2 hours. Going, you know what? You are the best. Yeah, Xbox is the best. Oh, yeah, I think Xbox is the best too. Okay, Xbox. You know what I mean? And nobody wants to see that shit. Yeah. People want to see debate where. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like Hagit and Mr. Boomstick right now.
I saw you guys do that breakdown. And actually, Boom is actually a really good friend of mine, too. Yeah. And Hargeet I've done a ton of shows with. And we talk all the time. He's always there in the XNC chat and everything else. Mm-hmm. And but Boom and I are actually like friends like in real life. So, it's but hey, the thing is? Isn't it funny that we're still like really good friends outside of like the YouTube world, and we have opposing views?
Yeah, he didn't threaten you. He didn't say,
It's not like he called me to be like, I'm gonna come and shoot you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he didn't do any of that shit. Yeah. I say a certain thing. He may not disagree. He says things I don't agree with what he's saying, but we're friends. Yeah. And I tell him stuff when I get inside info. I tell Boom. I'm like, hey, Boom, check this out. Microsoft is doing this, that, and Xbox is doing this, and he's like, oh shit. And he's the only one I tell because I trust him, and I, you know what I mean. And like he's a good friend and all that stuff. But at the same time, I don't agree with it anymore. I used to be on that show. I did 2 years on that show. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm stepped away and now I'm going my own path, and my own path is going to be my path. That's awesome. And that's all there is to it. Like I said, the door's open. You want to come in, come in. But if you don't, that's fine. Go do your own thing, man. That's all there is to it. But I'm disinterested in just having, like I said, that circle jerk of people just blowing each other in an echo chamber. I don't need that. That's not exciting. That's not entertaining. That's not interesting. You know what I mean? Anyways, I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, no, you did. It totally changed the dynamic of our channel. That's what I tell Cold Blood all the time. His fucking haterous ways to make the channel so much better. They love the dynamic, and they love when he chimes in or he's giving me a hard time. It keeps, I think it keeps both people or anybody involved honest. It makes you self-evaluate before you just go ahead and glaze something because you have a bias towards or whatever. It keeps you on your toes, and it just makes the content better for the listeners. So let me ask that you do this, MAGG, please, because I'm going to be interested. Sure. I'm hoping one day we can be guests on there if you will have us. Please
Absolutely.
Drop a link to that channel. I don't know if are you watching the show, or you have the chat up at all? If not, because I thought I thought I was following your YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel is not really launched. I had one open there for a bit. I think it's probably still there. And people are subscribing to it, but I'm refacing it because I just did it to see, like, I just wanted a place card.
I knew I was following
It is just a
and
place
I can't
card.
find it. Okay, all right.
No, there's a place card. It's just the MAGG.
Okay,
But
I
it's
got
going to
you.
be getting a full a reface, the whole thing, like a full renovation, and it's going to be renamed.
Well,
There's going to be artwork. There's going to be all kinds of stuff, and
you're a mod here on the channel, so definitely when that shit happens.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
I don't give a fuck if we're talking about scalloped potatoes. Come through, you drop that link, and be like, hey, by the way, fuck your potatoes. By the way, Magg's new channel, da 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 da. You know.
yeah. Oh, when it comes to, thank you, I appreciate putting me as a mod. Yes. And I'm always here in the chat anyway. Even when I'm not there, I'm still there.
Mhm.
I think my wife hears your voice more than mine. Because whenever I'm taking a shower, brushing my teeth, I either got cold blood in one ear or you in the other ear.
Tell her I said I'm sorry. Yeah, because
She listens to all these shows, man. She listens to all this shit because I always got them playing on my phone. Like my phone's in my pocket, and I got them playing. You guys are like the soundtrack of my life, like walking around my house doing shit, But, anyways, the thing is that it's yes, when that all comes down, I will obviously put something out there, and I'm gonna just do my thing, and I'm just gonna keep plugging away. I got all kinds of ideas and all kinds of things, and I got my brother's gonna be a producer on it. He's doing all the background work and everything else, and the programming and the artwork and all that kind of stuff. He's doing all that stuff because that's what he does. And so that's I mean, Jesus Christ, he's got he did a couple things on TikTok or whatever during the pandemic, and then YouTube, whatever. On TikTok, he's at like 500,000 people, like you know what I mean? Like it's insane what he's got going on over there. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that's when that happens. I will be more vocal about it when it launches officially. But I'm thinking somewhere around October. I have to hit the good old US of A in September. I got some shit going on down there. So I'm going to be flying around. The Eagle will be flying around the United States in September. When I'm back in town here in October, then after our Thanksgiving, because our Thanksgiving is in October, not November.
Yeah.
And after that's done, then the channel's going to go up.
Awesome.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm always here anyway, but I'll be more vocal. That's all, Yeah.
Obla, did you have any questions before we let Mag go? I mean, this was a fucking awesome interview. So, I mean, if you got a few more moments, if Coldblood, do you have a question for Mag? No, you do.
Shit, I had one, but I forgot.
You know what the funny thing is? I've talked so much, I probably covered it.
No, let me think. Oh, yeah. Are the people that working for Xbox happy with leadership over there?
No, they're not. I could tell you that absolutely with 100% fact. They are not happy. There is a civil war going on at Microsoft, and very few people know about it. Well, I mean, people in the know about it, and but there is an absolute civil war of ideology that's going on at Microsoft right now and Xbox, and a lot of the people who are like looking for the more traditional business model of how things are going, and then they're seeing what Microsoft has stuck their big fat noses in and said, you took 80 billion of ours, we call the fucking shots. And so now there's this civil war going on over there, and it is absolutely a fact that that's happening. And no, they're not happy. They are not happy with the direction is. And I can tell you another thing is that Bethesda employees who I've spoken to and ABK employees who I've spoken to, I know I sound like the Jason Schreier of the fucking world, but I'm not like hiding in the bushes looking for like an injury lawyer looking to fuck over like Naughty Dog or something. It's like, but I'm just saying, like, I do talk to these people and they are totally unhappy that Microsoft has purchased them. They didn't even want the acquisitions to go down, and actually,
okay,
they said their
my
lives
next question.
Yes,
my next question would be: are they happy they can put their games on PlayStation now?
I think that they are, because a lot of it had to do with exclusivity problems. Yeah. And that wasn't coming from the workers, because the workers really don't give a shit. It's the middle management and upper management of those studios were unhappy with even the thought of being exclusive to let's say the last placed ecosystem.
Selling console.
Right? Yes. And so they were not happy with the thought of that happening. They were also why do you think, by the way, did you hear, I mean, I'm sure you heard of it, that Sarah Bond had to do a town hall with the staff? Remember that?
Yeah.
When all the rumors and all the shit, basically all the shit that I started, was coming out about all the stuff that was happening when I started spilling the beans in early January, and then other people started getting brave and saying, "Yep, we heard the same thing. We heard the same thing," and that that led to the town hall. Because you know how we found out that information? We found out that information because the employees and the middle management and upper management wanted this to get out.
Yeah. It was
because they wanted to light a fire under Microsoft's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted the community to freak the fuck out, and that's why they told us this stuff. That's why, and like I said, I found out December 8th or 9th about Blade. Well, I told you about at the beginning of the show what was happening and everything else. And then there's a couple other ones coming out. Like I said, the games that haven't even been announced yet, like that certain fighting game that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
That's going to be, when I heard that back in December, I heard that back in December saying, no, that's coming to PlayStation 5 and Switch 2 day one. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Somebody in the chat is asking, can you speak to Forza?
Sure.
Did you hear? Is there anything you can
say? I heard nothing about Forza. No, wait. Hold on. Let me check. I'm just gonna.
Let me check.
I was being dead serious. I gotta check.
Treasure trove.
He's got to. I don't want you to get your. I don't want you to put any sources at risk.
No, I never do. And that's a funny thing. Whenever I say something and they're like, source, and I'm like, yeah, let me out the guy who fucking told me everything, so he gets fired. And just so Dick fuck 420 on Twitter with 8 followers wants to know who the source is, and I get the guy who's making $200,000 a year get fired from Microsoft. Exactly. Let me make sure he's happy, right? But anyways, no. He says Forza is coming, and it's coming within less than a year. That's all. That's all he said.
You got it here first.
That's all he said. But now the other thing he did say, and I said this on Crossfire, I said this on XNC, and another thing that I heard is that said the 2 words that was said to me multiple times. Actually, he's not the only source who said it. There's actually other ones have said full slate. So that was never in question. It was just a matter of when, not if, right? So, anyways, back to the town hall thing. That's what ended up happening. These guys wanted this story outed because they knew what was happening. They were part of those board meetings, and they were unhappy with the direction that things were going. They did not like the acquisitions. They did not want to be part of Microsoft. They didn't like the new ideology, the rules, the regulations. By the way, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Phil is dead set against any kind of exploitation of the female form. He's really conservative. And I mean, really, I don't mean conservative like Republican. I mean, not politically conservative. I mean, he's conservative, he doesn't want to see skin. They have rules against extra large breasts during development of female characters. I mean, let's face it. I mean, we see enough of that shit anyway. You pull up the new Mortal Kombat and Kitana's wearing a fucking winter coat. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, what is this? She's wearing you know what I mean? She's wearing a winter parka that I would wear to the Antarctica. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. How sexy. Yeah. God forbid you show some ankle. What is it, Saudi Arabia? Jesus Christ. Anyways, the point is that that all came out. And that was all part of it. And it was to start. The idea was to start a revolution. Because so to answer your question there, Cold Blood, they wanted to start a revolution, and by doing so, they reached out to people like us who have a voice, and they wanted, and boy, did it succeed, because it got out there, and a lot of the things, and when they did the town hall meeting, I know someone who's standing right there texting me the questions that were going to Sarah Bond at the town hall meeting, and a lot of them were, we never fucking asked for this. We never wanted to be part of this. It's like you guys fought in court for 2 years.
Yeah.
And we never wanted to be part of your ecosystem. We were fine where we were. The only one who wanted it was what's his face there, because he wanted his $1 billion parachute.
Bobby Sleestick. Yeah.
Bobby Kotick, yeah. So but the employees were actually saying to Sarah Bond, they're like, we never wanted this. We don't want it. We were happy selling to PlayStation. We were happy working with Nintendo, working third-party PC, this and that, open platform. And we don't, and then now they put all these constraints. You got to make everything for the Series S. Fuck you. You know what I mean? And that's where these problems are lying. They're not happy, and they're not happy with being part of this. And a lot of them left. Let's face it, a lot of them left.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then another thing on top of that, you don't think Microsoft sees what's going on? They start closing studios. You think that's over? That's not over. Tim Dog said the same thing. And Tim Dog's never wavered on that either. He says, you think he goes, this is only the beginning. He goes, they're going to start enveloping. They take the best talents out of each and they start dissolving these studios one by one. Yeah. And that's going to continue to happen 100%. So I hope that answers your question, brother.
Boy, did it.
Yeah, yeah, it did.
All right.
One more.
Sure.
Do you know what happened to Pete Hines, actually? Not the official statement, but what actually happened to him?
You know, that never came up. That never came up. Except I can imagine a lot of it had to do. Well, that was another thing, by the way. Like, the Pete Hines thing, Mikey Barra, and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of. I know that as a fact, there's a lot of bad blood there. I know people who've spoken to Mikey Barra. By the way, him and I played Helldivers, eh?
I love Mike. Mike is
he's like he reached out and he's like, hey man, it goes, anybody on PlayStation whatever want to play, and that was a direct stab, eh? By the way,
I need a favor, and someone did this for Matt Piscatella.
So
because I was an asshole to Matt a couple of years ago when I was in like my serious Xbox phase, and I remember Matt had said something negative about Xbox, and I went at him and he blocked me, and then someone I know that knows him, I said, can you please tell Matt to unblock me? Like I'm not indoctrinated anymore, and he unblocked me. So yeah, like and I said the same thing to Tim. Matt, I mean, Mike should know this though, because I got on him a few years ago, Mag, because he was like he gave praise to God of War 2018. This is before I played it. And I'm like, Mike, you're part of Xbox. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And I remember me and David Jaffe got into it, which, you know, shout out to David Jaffe. But Mike should know he's one of my favorite people. I know we got people that sympathize with Phil Spencer, but I wish so much that he would have gotten that position. Nothing against Phil as a person. He's from what I hear, he's a nice guy or whatever, but I just felt like Mike was a lot more qualified. And I know Mike is a tough guy. He got thick skin. Mike, you know I love you. I nothing against you. It's just me being the rabid fanboy that I was back then. I wanted to throw that out there.
yeah. Well, you know, the thing is too is that Microsoft offered a lot of the top leadership, especially people like Pete Hines and stuff. This get back to that. They offered them a nice severance packages so they could say, hey, listen, we're going in this direction. You may not want to go in this direction, but here's a shit ton of money. Get out.
Yeah. Go kick rocks.
Who's gonna say no to that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who's going to say no to that? And then what happens? 48 hours later, Pete Hines sends out that Twitter tweet, excuse me. And what's he saying? I'm going to go enjoy more time with my family and this and that, and by the next chapter of my life. That means Microsoft just fucking shut you up and paid you a shit ton of money to go away, because they're going to go in a different direction, and they don't want to pay you. That's the other thing. They don't want to pay you on a consistent basis for a number of years when they could just get rid of all that top management and middle management and then just operate from the top. Yeah. And then of course AI is going to take the majority of the other like more redundant positions and stuff, and a lot of the groundwork positions, like people that color in trees for a living, for in a game or whatever. They're all gone. That's all going to be part of like what's going to happen in the future. And you're going to have one overlord, a shit ton of AI, and just a couple of heads that are going to run the departments. That's it. And it's all going to be bare bones. And you know what? The customers are not going to care. And you know why they're not going to care? Because they're going to get a new game every 2 years instead of waiting for 7, because AI don't sleep, AI doesn't have mat leave, AI doesn't get sick, AI doesn't need time off, AI doesn't go on vacation, AI can work 24 hours a day, it doesn't have to eat, it just keeps working and working and working and working. As long as you got your writers and your producers, you don't fucking need anything else. And that's what's going to happen once they perfect it. It's a sad truth, it's scary, but the thing is, at the same time, go to the grocery store. And when you see that, you go to the front of the grocery store and there's 26 cash registers at like a Walmart or whatever, right? Or a Target, and you see 26 cash registers, and then you look now, there's one person working at the cash register and everything else is self-checkout. So, and if people think that that's going to stop there, you're out of your fucking mind. The gaming industry is next. And then after that's the movie industry. But the movie industry went on strike to fight that. The video game industry will lose that battle. So anyways, Pete Hines was basically told to piss off. And Mikey Barr, there was no love lost there either. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
And he was sending a lot of like you know that Phil's still there looking at it when Mikey Barr says, "Hi friends, anybody on PS5 want to play with me?" You know that Phil's sitting there going, "Motherfucker," you know what I mean? And that's exactly why, because he didn't want. I can tell you this. He did not want to be acquired as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He did not want to be acquired.
The funny
and
thing,
he was very
is,
vocal about it. Yes.
I was talking to a mutual friend, right, of not just ours, but of Mike Ybarro's. And I remember when Mike Ybarro first left and he was talking all this shit on Phil, like subliminally, like, subtweeting. And I said to this mutual friend, I said, please reach out to Mike and let him know to chill. Because I had a situation like that to where I thought I left somebody that I couldn't stand, and I end up being their boss. I mean, they end up being my boss, and it was like hell. And I said, dude, Mike Ybarro could be, I said, we don't know, this could happen. And I swear to God, if I can find the video, I'll send it to you. I said, Mike Ybarro could be sitting there sipping his cup of coffee, working on the next Diablo, and the next thing he gets a phone call, Microsoft just bought us. And I said, he will be in the worst situation. He doesn't want to fuck that bridge up. Just tell him to keep his mouth shut, right? And so I don't know if that message went out, but he started acting cooler after that. But wouldn't we be damned? A few years later, what ends up happening? Microsoft fucking buys Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, and he was. Yeah. I could tell you, he was not happy.
Oh yeah.
And that bad blood started immediately, and then of course, I heard that there was even some cat calls out during like business meetings about nudity in games and stuff like that. Shit. And so like he was just like talking shit, like, hey, how about if we make the character naked for like just to be an asshole? And apparently that was a thing that was happening. I swear to God, I'm not making this shit up. And like this is all real. And that's when it started getting really ugly. And then eventually they're like, all right, just pay this guy and get him the fuck out of here, please. And you know what I mean? And just like, and then so that's when what happened. But there was no love lost there, and a lot of that. And Pete Hines was also part of that too. Yeah. They didn't want any part of the future of Xbox.
Anybody that has like a very critical and with pushback spirit, which I embraced that when I was managing. Me and my man, like you hear me and Cold Blood go back and forth. Like that's how all my supervisors and the managers under me, that's how we communicated. I walked by and I would hear them, that fucking guy's crazy. Can you believe what he just told us to do? You know what I mean? That dynamic always keeps everybody in check and balance, in my opinion. Phil does not like that shit. He does. It seems like Phil, unless it's from a superior, he does not like being challenged.
No, I agree. And so, yeah, that's a lot about what happened there. So but plus, you know what? Pete Hines also put in 24 years with Bethesda. At some point, you're just like, you know what? I'm fucking done. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so when you're at a position where you're just waiting for a way out, what better way to get out is wait for a giant corporation to acquire you and then pay you a massive payout and get the fuck out. You know what I mean? And just take the big payout and go away. And I would do that right now if I could. Yeah. I can tell you right now, if my corporation even gave me like 2 years severance, I wouldn't even let them finish the sentence. I'd already be in the car. You know what I mean? And I just go. I would have a year off to do whatever, and then another year to refocus maybe the last portion of my working career. You know what I mean? As I'm turning 50 this year. So like, it's getting to that point where I'm just like, I don't really care. And I imagine for those guys too, I'd be like, yeah, please acquire me and get me the fuck out of here. And that's exactly what happened. And so that's pretty much it. But I didn't hear too much specific about Pete Hines. More about Mikey Barr though. That was apparently he was quite funny.
You'd be surprised. Like one day we'll get together and share the sources. You'll be surprised. I got a lot of scoop on Mike Ybarro, and then I got so much that I felt like I know him personally, and that's why I said like I hope Mike doesn't think, because we've interacted a few times on Twitter and shit.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
I've always liked him. Yeah, I've always liked him. Yep.
All right. Hey, look, man, this was a hell of a fucking interview.
Fuck, that was crazy. 2.5 hours. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And my wife is side-eyeing me like, hey, you better get.
No, it's okay. No, I gotta go too, man. I gotta go deal with my kids. So yeah, that was a hell of a time, man. Holy, that was epic.
Again. We definitely.
That was like Return of the King director's cut. Yeah. Like
And I-
the
yeah,
4 hour,
absolutely
the
not,
4
yeah.
hour Academy Award winning release. Yeah.
Hey guys, we did this live, and I'm so glad. And thanks to Cold Blood. Cold Blood said, "Hey, look, man, let's do this shit live, man." This
Yeah,
is
man,
gonna
that's
be a
great.
one. These are the interviews that we are doing. This is the fourth one. The other three are for our members because we had such a massive member surge, and we wanted to say thank you to the members. But we felt like there was a lot of people that didn't understand the dynamic of these interviews. They just thought that it was like a lot of elevator music, whatever. No, we're not safe for work. We're like no holds barred, right? So if you want more of this, definitely hit that join button. Join at what we call the foamy homie level. Just $3.99 will get you access to all these interviews. But right now, we're doing this live public. We might just leave this one open to the public because I got a feeling, Mag, that there's going to be some people that are like, oh, he said what? They're going to want to grab it.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
So,
Let him. I'm
let him
waiting
do it.
for
Let
it.
him fucking do it.
Fuck
Yeah.
him. Yeah, no, this is my truth, and that's what it's gonna be. See y'all on the PlayStation 5.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, we got to do some dive for some shit together. Well, with
Absolutely.
that said, become a member. You'll catch other great interviews. Tim Dog, King Thrash, and Porter Rock. But man, this was a hell of an interview. Thank you, Mag. Appreciate it. And we got to do this again, brother.
Cold Blood, MM2K, gentlemen, you guys have a great night. That was awesome. I absolutely adored every minute of it. I'm actually going to be sending it out to some friends now and be like, y'all got to listen to this. So, anyways, it was a good time, boys. Add me on PlayStation.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. Oh, hey,
What's
listen,
your
add
handle
me.
on PlayStation, Mag?
It's very simple. All capitals, all one word. I am the Mag.
Okay.
I am the, and then MAGG. I am the Mag. You can't miss it. It's all capitals. I'm always screaming. That's the way it goes. So, yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Stuff.
All right, boys. That
appreciate
was
it, man.
wonderful. That was amazing. And like I said, I'm going to start sending it out to people. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, you guys have a great night. All right. And hey, I'll catch you guys on the next live show. I'm always there. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Just
Wait,
give us a thumbs up. Or something,
Mac,
bro.
Yeah.
Mac, wait. Are you the one with the 37 platinums?
Yeah. The what?
Yes?
Sorry. With the what?
Are you the one with the 37 platinums?
Yeah. 37 or 38 platinums. That's me. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got those 38 platinums in the last 2 years alone.
Damn.
because I stopped playing on Xbox. Oh, I just got your notification. I stopped playing on Xbox, so I play only on PlayStation. So I got all these. All right, Cold Blood, I just got you. I just accepted. All right.
Nice,
so now you know who I am. All right. So there I am. So all right. Okay,
brother.
boys. Have a good one, man. That was awesome. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah,
all right?
you too, brother.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, that was, man, holy shit. That was a hell of a podcast, folks. And I hope that you guys know now for a fact that we're bringing on great people from the community that have a lot to say. And they're just being genuine and authentic. And you're going to want to be a part of this, man. You're definitely going to want to be a part of this. This potentially, people could be talking about this interview for days. So, any final thoughts before we get out of here, Cold Blood?
So, Xbox is fucked. y'all heard it from probably one of the most popular fucking podcasts for Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know how Cold can hold this guy on his channel, bro. He is crazy hater now.
Well, the
No, but I
dynamic
love it.
works. So if Colt, like I said, I know we take shots at Colt, but if Colt is smart, he's going to keep that dynamic going, man. He's not going to fuck with that because that authenticity from Mag, you need that, man. You need, especially now with everything that people were promised and stuff that was co-signed versus everything that's actually happened. You need that authenticity. But I'm gonna shut up and let you close out, Cold Blood.
Well, for almost over half the podcast, I was thinking we were talking to Mooch. I'm gonna lie to you because they sound so similar, bro.
Yeah, he's
so
riot,
similar.
Bro. He's a riot. Like he's gonna be. Mag has to be a regular and shit. You know what I mean? Like he just pops in, say whatever the fuck he wants. Even
I wish. I wish he could be a regular, but he got his own shit.
Yeah. We need more Mag. We definitely need more Mag. So. But yeah, check out this shit when it comes out. Definitely. But with that said, let us get out of here, man. My wife is side-eyeing me. She's packing her shit since she's going to her mother's house. No, I might pop the champagne on these. All right, so let's get out of here. We will wrap to you guys tomorrow. Early bird special, 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. And then we're going to be doing in a row podcast where we'll be following up more on this shit and then what's going on at Gamescom. So with that said, yeah, Doriega, you're absolutely right. Gen X, no filters. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I knew we had to get him on here. All right, with that said, appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Till next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.